It is almost 1 year ago, March 15, 2020, when we experienced our first lockdown in the country. In the midst of COVID-19, we choose to rise up, we choose to uplift, hindi po ba we choose to shine. We always have a choice to always bounce back. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, friends, families, partners, and the entire network community of Bounce Back PH. Ako po si JV Wong from People Ignite and I will be your host for today. At hindi naman ako nag-iisa sa umagang ito. Along with me this morning is my co-host partner, Mr. Nato Agbayani, our co-founder of Bounce Back PH. Magandang umaga, Sir Nato!
Good morning, JV. Thank you for joining us. Friends, thank you for joining us in this Bounce Back anniversary. It's been 1 year since we started. We started in a coffee shop now. We're 1.1 million strong, and it's a good thing that we're celebrating this despite the pandemic, despite the coming wave, and we just hope and pray that everyone is safe. We just hope and pray that everyone is recovering, and yeah, we can bounce back as a country far, far better than where we started after all. Yeah.
Nato, maraming salamat for letting us know that to date we have more than 1 million members, supporters, and advocates. Congratulations to Bounce Back PH. And definitely, we have a lot of way forward plans ahead of us.
Right.
And from
Congratulations, Filipinas.
Congratulations po. And to give the opening message, let us welcome the founder of Bounce Back PH, Mr. Jason De La Rosa.
Jason.
Hi, thank you,
morning.
JV. Thank you, Nato. Good morning to all of you. And sa lahat ng nakikinig ngayon sa Bounce Back, maraming salamat for joining us in this celebration of hope, okay, of recovery, and of course, rising above this pandemic, okay? So I'd like to, first of all, thank all the volunteers, and I'd like to thank all those who participated in this event, lahat ng back-end operators for making this possible. We only had a few days to prepare. JV, thank you for agreeing to our request. No, I mean, ikaw talaga ang choice ko to host this one, to host this event. And Brother Nato, maraming salamat din for this journey this 1 year journey that we went on. Napakadaming heartbreak, napakadaming struggle. Okay, pero ngayon, nandito tayo ngayon, and we are going to move forward. Okay? So, guys, I'm so happy to give you this campaign that we have, Shine as One. Okay? Because whenever there's darkness, okay, we try to shine a light for the path of others. That's what we always want to say. Kasi pagka we shine for ourselves lang, it means that we're gonna go through this pandemic alone. But the reason why Bounce Back PH grew and daming natulungan is dahil everyone was shining a path for each other, no? And I think that's why our tagline for this 2021 is Shine as One, is because we're all shining a light for each other, and we will recover as one, will bounce back as one. Okay, all right. So I'd like to first talk about the impact that we've done, no, in bounce back. We've grown. We started March 12, which is today. Okay, and I remember that time. That was lunchtime. Okay, I wanted to create a group, no, with my friends lang and colleagues, because we saw a lot of healthcare providers struggling, a lot of hospitals struggling, and I knew that SMEs or business owners are going to struggle. So I created this group, Bounce Back PH, and without all of these things happened in a blink of an eye. In 1 week, 2 weeks, we grew to 20,000, 30,000 people, and it was because of the Bayanihan spirit. No, I did not even invite a lot of people, but because people wanted to be in a community, people wanted to join a community of people helping each other. That's why Bounce Back flourished and grew, and it's what it is today. Okay, so based on we don't have exact data, but the impact that we've accomplished together with our teams, Sam, is we've grown now to over 1 million followers and 1 million members across all our groups, across all our pages. And we've already done more than 250 webinars, learning webinars, with our top webinar gaining 10 million viewers. Okay, so that means that I'm very happy that we are able to help our members learn, okay, from experts on how to recover from this crisis. And back in 2020, that was the most important thing, no? Because nobody knew what to do last 2020. And we gathered all of the best minds and the experts together in Bounce Back. Later, the Bounce Back originals or the original Bounce Back team members will be talking in a panel and in a discussion to just reminisce on how we grew Bounce Back and what are the things we did to help people and to help each other. And also, we have estimated 500 million pesos worth of donations have been given because of Bounce Back, okay, throughout 1 year. Okay. Later on, our biggest, one of our biggest partners who helped raise us about 150 million in donation through all of their efforts and their campaign. They will be going live later around 11:30 a.m. to talk about the campaign as well. Okay, and the transactions between our SMEs, we also estimated uh, 500 million worth of transactions between all of our members. That means people were able to pivot their businesses and they were able to do transactions and sell and help each other by buying from each other. Back in 2020, all of the posts in the communities, all of the discussions were about, what should I do? Help me, my business is struggling. Can you please donate? But we saw all of those begin to evaporate. So a lot of positive messages now in 2021 instead of negative messages. People are already selling. People are already reopening their restaurants. People are already reopening tourist spots, their resorts, their hotels. So there is hope, and we're starting to see a lot of recovery. Okay, and now moving forward, what will we be looking forward to in Bounce Back 2021? Okay, so very very exciting. The team has been developing a lot of programs. Okay, for us to bounce back higher this 2021. Now, the way forward, what's the way forward for bounce back? Okay, so number one, we will be creating, okay, a scholarship program, and we aim to provide 10 million people with certification, with scholarship, with um, courses that will help them get jobs, create businesses. Okay? This is in partnership with so many organizations and associations, and we also need your help to grow this campaign. Later this afternoon, in the afternoon session, we'll be having panel discussions about all of these programs in tech. We've got women entrepreneurs discussing, and we've got a discussion about cybersecurity, which reminds me that we launched a cybersecurity scholarship program headed by NADPAP, and we have a lot of registration, and hopefully we will have a lot of cybersecurity professionals, and we give them this all for free because we want all of you to bounce back. We will also be creating more partnerships that will help SMEs sell or promote their products. So we'll be creating programs such as live streams, discounts, promos, and sites that will be able to promote your products, because we believe that 2021 should be a year of action and a year of recovery based on um, already moving instead of thinking. 2020, we were able to learn, we were able to meditate, we were able to learn from experts. But 2021, it's now time to apply all the things we learned and help each other by pushing each other, shining a light for each other. Okay. So thank you very much. Please enjoy please enjoy the show, the anniversary event this today. So thank you very much. Shine a light for each other, that, and remember that we all have to offer this everything to God, and we always have to pray for endurance and keep making sure that we keep ourselves in God's love, because that's the only way for us to really, really bounce back this 2021. Thank you very much.
And there goes our founder, leader and driver of Bounce Back PH, Jason. Maraming salamat. And personally, I am really a believer of the advocacies that you and the team shared, especially the Shine video, which you guys will see a little bit later. And the three important points of our founder would be, we learned how to hope back in 2020, and our founder also mentioned that for 2021 there will be higher level of bounce forward, and there will be a lot of programs that we should tune in. So antabayanan nyo po yan. Go ahead, Nato, kindly introduce our keynote speaker.
So we move into our keynote speaker today, and to give our keynote, of course, is for the state of the MSMEs in the Philippines. Let's warmly welcome our Department of Trade and Industry Undersecretary, Lesila Lantayona. Okay. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to
Uh,
Bounce Back.
Thank you very much, Nato.
Yes.
Actually, I am here for and in behalf of our Secretary Mon Lopez, and on
Yes,
behalf
our
of
good
the
friend Mon
department.
Lopez.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
From
busy lang talaga si
yes,
secretary
we
ngayon.
understand.
So, napag-utusan ako.
Yes, thank you for coming,
Yeah.
ma'am. We're really appreciative of the efforts of DTI, especially our friend DTI Secretary Mon Lopez, who's been there from the start, from the very beginning. Dati sa Philippine Marketing Association lang tayo magkakasama. Now, he is DTI
Mm,
Secretary, and I think he's doing a good job despite all of these crises. So, ma'am,
yeah, thank
thank you for
you. Thank
coming.
you.
Please go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Nato. On behalf of the Department of Trade and Industry, I am pleased to join you today and be part of the celebration of the first anniversary of Bounce Back Philippines. Congratulations to everyone. And true to the essence of your name, your platform has been instrumental in helping our MSMEs bounce back from the effects of the ongoing health crisis to their entrepreneurial journey. The whole DTI is celebrating with you, and we are grateful for your continuous support and guidance to our MSMEs. I hope we continue to learn from each other throughout this session. To start, I would like to give you a brief overview um, of the MSMEs that we have, no? The definition of the MSMEs, for example. Can you go to the next slide? Currently, the MSMEs, the Philippines employ two criteria in operationally defining the MSMEs. This is based on the asset size, excluding land, no, and the number of employees. Republic Act 9501, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for the MSMEs, provides enterprises with asset value of up to 3 million, and they are classified as micro enterprises. Those with asset size of more than 3 million up to 15 million are classified as small, and those with asset size of 15 million up to 100 million are considered as medium. Now, the Philippine Statistics Authority, uh, they classify, they also have another classification based on employment size, no? So those with less than 10 employees are classified as micro, and they are classified as small if they have about 10 to 99 employees. Then medium would be those enterprises having employment size of 100 to 199. Um, Considering its massive number, the MSMEs really play a major role in the Philippine employment and economic development. An overwhelming majority of the businesses in our country are MSMEs, meaning with capitalization of less than 100 million pesos, and they are about at the level of about 99.5%. And in terms of employment, more than half of the employees of our country work for the MSMEs at 62.4%. And they also have a sizable contribution to the economy, providing 35.7% of the total value added. And in terms of the kind of businesses that our MSMEs are involved in, the three most common are the wholesale and retail at 46.2%, accommodation and food services at 14.4%, and manufacturing at 11.5%. Now, almost half of our MSMEs are into trading, 46.2%, as I have mentioned, and these are more on the grocery stores, the wet markets, the retailers, the wholesalers, even the online sellers. We have seen their importance, especially during the time of the pandemic, as retail stores allowed us to stock up on essential goods while we are staying at home. The accommodation, on the other hand, the accommodation and the food services comprise a good percentage, as you have seen, no, of our MSMEs. They are the ones really most affected, as their businesses are dependent on the movement of people such as tourists and diners. But we have seen their significance during the pandemic, as hotel establishments have been repurposed as quarantine facilities or living quarters for the front liners. The manufacturing, on the other hand, as we have seen, they're about 11.5%. They play really a key role, given that it is one of the few businesses that were allowed to operate when the community quarantine was put in place, especially those that are involved, in exports. So can we go to the next slide? The community quarantine measures imposed since March 16, malapit na palang mag-anniversary, no? March 16, 2020, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, have forced businesses to either um, temporarily cease operation or operate at a limited capacity due to limited movement of people to mitigate the transmission of the virus. Now, the DTI, we conducted a survey to see how the quarantine measures affected our businesses. And based on the responses from the 5 surveys that we have conducted, that was beginning, I think it was April, May, and then the last one that we had, the 5th run was, I think we did it February just this year, no? The businesses are slowly opening their business from 19.8% for the period of June 2020 to June 17, 2020 to 56.4% for the period of January 28, 2021 to February 10, 2021. We also would like to highlight the fact that from 27.7% of those businesses that have closed or stopped their businesses, they are now at the level only of 4.2% after January 28, 2021. It's a good number showing that our MSMEs are really slowly coping to recover from the effects of the pandemic. So we see the gradual opening. And then in terms of the assistance, again, this is from the survey, no? In terms of the assistance needed by MSMEs, we noted that across all industries, a good number require financing assistance the most. With marketing assistance coming, I think that's the next slide. Can you look at the next slide? With marketing assistance coming in second, and the third most response was others, which mostly comprise of the enabling environment policy, such as assistance on policy and regulations, assistance on taxes, discounts and incentives, and assistance on rentals and utilities, among others. Now, the DTI's programs and services for the MSMEs are encapsulated in the MSME Development Plan of 2017 to 2022, as prepared by the MSME Development Council, which is actually the policy-making body that oversees interventions of MSME development. And this is shared by no less than the Secretary of the Department of Trade and Industry. The plan has identified the needs of our MSMEs through three focus areas, namely business environment, business capacity, and business opportunities. Through each focus areas, there are targeted efforts of MSME enablers through 5 strategic goals. These strategic goals are improved business climate, which actually aims to simplify and standardize related rules and regulations for MSMEs to start and grow their business. The number two strategic goal is improve access to finance. This aims to streamline loan processes and capacitating financial institutions to cater to the MSMEs. The third strategic goal is enhanced management and labor capacities, which aims to provide training and mentoring. Strategic goal number 4 is improved access to technology and innovation. This aims to provide technology transfer and supporting the innovation ecosystem. And strategic goal number 5 is access to market, very, very important. It aims to link MSMEs to broader markets such as global supply chains and e-commerce. To give you a quick overview, on your screen are the various programs and services that help establish and sustain businesses, especially during the onset of the pandemic in the country. These programs are aimed at jump-starting and reinvigorating the Philippine economy by stimulating consumption and enhancing production capacity to revitalize and empower local industries to capture this demand in the industry, services, and agriculture sectors. We go to the negosyo centers. So if you want to start your business and don't know where to go, our negosyo center is ready to assist you nationwide. The DTI is implementing the Go Negosyo Act, which mandates the establishment of negosyo centers in all of the provinces and cities and municipalities all over the country. These negosyo centers promote ease of doing business and facilitate access to services for MSMEs. The services that negosyo centers provide include business registration, assistance, business advisory services, business information and advocacy, as well as access to market in linkages. As of now, we have more than 1,000 negosyo centers, and during the year, we will be establishing more for 2021. But the aim really is to have negosyo center in each of the province, each of the municipalities and cities all over the country. But now we also have this negosyo center online portal. So you don't have to go physically to the negosyo center. That is an alternative that is open to you. And this is also to promote the digitalization of our MSMEs. And this negosyo center is now being developed. We hope to, it is already about 80% already. And we hope to launch this probably towards the end of this month or next month. So just watch out for this. And it is envisioned to bring all the services of a negosyo center in a digital platform. The business name registration system, on the other hand, this is very helpful to our MSMEs because they can now process their DTI business name registration, original or renewal 24/7 through an online site. With the rollout of the business name registration system next generation, sole proprietors who wish to register their business names with DTI may now apply and pay online. DTI has expanded payment options through land banks linked Bs, cash payments via 7-Eleven or Bayad Center, and through other banks via PCHC, Paygate, or the bank transfer. So actually, my son tried this one and he shouted for joy when he got his business name registration very, very quickly. And on the BMBE, this is the Barangay Micro Enterprise, uh, which is via Republic Act number 9178, the Barangay Micro Business Enterprise Act of 2002. It provides incentives and benefits to include income tax exemption, minimum wage exemption, special credit window in selected banks, and provision of various services, development services for barangay micro enterprises. This is really very good for our micro enterprises, just to give them enough leeway while they are still very very small. No, they are micro, enough for them, to grow to become hopefully a small enterprise. In terms of access to finance, we have this Pondo sa Pagbabago at Pag-asenso, the P3 program of DTI. I hope you can see, no? It's just there. With the passage of the Bayanihan Acts, the P3 pala is a microfinancing initiative of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, designed to bring down the 5-6 financing, the usurious 5-6 microfinancing scheme that is very, very popular among our micro enterprises, especially those who are selling, vendors at the public market. So when the president saw this, he said we have to design a financing program that would really rival the itong tawag natin na 5-6 scheme. So this is quite very successful itong pondo sa pagbabago at pag-asenso natin, where a lot of micro enterprises really channeled their borrowings to SB Corporation. Si SB Corporation kasi yung ating namamahala dito, and SB Corporation is an attached agency to the Department of Trade and Industry, the board of which is shared by no less than the Secretary of Department of Trade and Industry. And then we have another program which we activated during the pandemic, and this is the P3 COVID Assistance to Restart Enterprises, or the P3 CARES program. So, nag-umpisa ito nung pinasa ang Bayanihan Act, no? So there were funds allotted to MSMEs to support them in industries most affected, like tourism, manufacturing, service, and agriculture. So through the SB Corporation, again, there was an allotment of 1 billion, and this was lent through the CARES program, and micro enterprises with asset size of more than 3 million, as I have discussed earlier, they can borrow up to 10,000, up to 200,000, while small size enterprises may borrow up to 500,000, not exceeding 500,000. And by the way, this is at 0% interest rate and 6 months grace period. There is another financing program that is being run by SB Corporation, and this is the Heroes program. So this is a 100 million loan package, and this is designed for repatriated overseas Filipino workers na repatriate sila because of COVID, no? So yun ang naging reason na to. This program, ang HEROES, that is an acronym, no? And it means helping helping the economy recover through OFW enterprise startups. So that means HEROES. It is a component program of the P3, and this loan facility is aimed at helping repatriated OFW rebuild their lives by providing opportunity to become entrepreneurs. So what will happen, because this OFW, they don't know anything about business. So what SB Corporation is doing before they can get this financing program is they require this OFW to train with the Philippine Trade Training Center. You know, they train on how to start a business and all the other entrepreneurial. There is a package of training for them actually. So they train, and then after that, they will be evaluated if they, qualify for the program. So ang mangyari doon is they must during the training or after the training, I think, no, they must present a video pitch of his or her startup business proposal outlining the key components of on the nature of the business, the product knowledge, management capability, market opportunity, competitive advantage, financial understanding, and business continuity. So para bang sasabihin, bakit pa natin sila pinapahirapan, ipapatraining pa natin, ipapapitch pa natin, and everything. I think this is really the right way. Hindi naman siguro ito pagpapahirap. But along the way, this OFWs, they will return to their specific areas. They have a region where they can return. They have a province where they really settle and do their business. Now, when they go to the provinces and to the regions, nandoon po ang aming mga regional and provincial offices and yung ating mga negosyo centers to continue assisting them, no, as they start their business. So, parang kami sa DTI, meron kaming structure to really help them, even if we do the training here. The training actually is via online, and that is the new normal now that we are in this pandemic. Now, on the area naman of management labor capacities, which is one of the strategic goal, makikita natin dito na we have the mentoring program, or what we call the Kapatid Mentor Me program. We continue to provide mentorship to the MSMEs through this program, which due to the pandemic, we started this in 2016, but due to the pandemic, starting 2020, we already rendered this mentoring program via online, and it is continuing. So last 2020, we ran 32 Kapatid Mentor Me all over the country, and it was funded by the National SME Council. And then in 2021, itong year na to, we also have another 32 runs. But this year, what we did is we had already come up with sectoral runs, no? Like yesterday, because it is Women's Month, we launched the first all-women mentees dito sa ating kapatid Mentor Me. And then in the afternoon, we also launch the all mentees coming from the tourism sector. And meron din kaming para sa lahat ng mga online sellers, para sa mga retailers. So nagsektoral tayo para medyo nakafocus yung assistance natin. And then we also have this youth entrepreneurship program, which we implement nationwide to help young Filipinos develop their entrepreneurial skills. So last year we did a nationwide run on this, and napakaganda naman ng resulta. Marami sa ating mga young actually mga estudyante pa sila. Para bang we want to help them look at the option of entrepreneurship rather than just plain employment. Okay. And then we also have our PTTC. I hope you heard about PTTC, no? Na yung aming Philippine Trade Training Center Global MSME Academy. So this is the training arm of the Department of Trade and Industry. Now, during the pandemic, most of the training programs offered by PTTC are on scholarship mode. So meaning the different agencies of DTI, we pay for the training so that PTTC can conduct this, and the clients or the attendees to these trainings are our scholars. So like for example, kami sa Regional Operations Group, we entered into a memorandum of agreement with PTTC to conduct, like say for example, a list of training, and then we get the trainees from the regions, and we let them attend the training as scholars. So this is kind of a targeted training program. So like now we have a currently they are running the training program, which is Building Entrepreneurial Society for Tomorrow, or this is the best boot camp for displaced workers and distressed MSMEs. So medyo nag-pivot kami doon kung what is really needed by currently needed by our MSMEs now that we are into a very challenging time. And talking about that, we have this Control Plus Biz reboot now. This is a series of free webinars that are targeted to MSMEs who need to transform their businesses digitally. We noticed that this is really the one that is needed now when there is a lot of disruption in the supply chain, and many of our MSMEs, they found out that nothing is coming in terms of sales. So they have to look into the possibility really of selling online, and many of them are not into that mode. They are not into that space because plainly they don't know. So here, when we conducted this, marami po ang nag-enroll, and napakaganda naman ng naging resulta ngayon. And then we have this Restart program, which is in partnership with Coca-Cola and the other groups, even the SB Corporation. No? We partnered with them. And again, this is targeting a very, very specific sector, and that is the micro retailers or the sari-sari stores. So we have this Restart program has 3 components. Component 1 is the Safe Stores communication, which actually relates to the development of information materials that will promote safe store operations under the next normal. This is not for the big ones, but this is really for the retail, for the tawag nito, yung ating mga sari-sari stores. And then component 2, this is about the development of online modules on how micro retailers can operate safely under the new normal. And what is good is the component 3, which is actually a bridge loan. It is the retailer's rebuild. We provide bridge loan. It is actually giving loans to this micro retailers or sari store. And again, DTI participated on this through our SB Corporation by providing fund para maipahiram dito sa ating mga sari-sari store. And on top of that, meron din kaming ginawa na program on digitalization. We ran this training, which is called the Integrated Training Digital Marketing Program. And we partnered with USAID, with NAPCO, which is a big, anong tawag nito? Yung group of mga cooperatives, Lazada, Shopee, Facebook Philippines. And this training capacitated women entrepreneurs and mentors in digital marketing, digital payments, and establishing effective online storefronts on popular e-commerce site. But this is solely for women. No? So, hindi man sinasadya. We started this in October of last year, and then we concluded the project in January of this year. And one of the very, very good results of this really is they were able, those who have participated in this program, they were able to increase their online sales. And the last time that we monitored this, last month, the group was able to generate collectively a total of 36 million in terms of sales. And also we partnered with the association of, we partnered with PICPA for the delivery of itong training program na accounting for non-accountants, and this is nationwide. So in other words, DTI, given half the chance, we really partner with organizations, private, public, or even the academe, just to leverage on our resources to really move or give services to our MSMEs. Now, if you look at the access to technology and innovation, we have here the SSF. Briefly, that is our program to give free machineries and equipment to our MSMEs. Libre po yan. And after 2 years, if we see that they operate this machines and equipment effectively, we will give it to them at no cost. And then we also have this SSFs. Actually, part of this is the Fab Lab fabrication laboratories. We have more than 20, more than 30 Fab Labs all over the country, funded by our SSFs. And during the pandemic, they actually made PPEs, no? Itong ating mga face shields, gumagawa din sila ng mga ganyan. And we have also tech tools for MSMEs where they can access this. And the negosyo serbisyo sa barangay, actually pumupunta kami sa barangay to really see kung ano yung mga kailangan. And what is good is after the seminar that we are giving, we provide a product, ano tawag nito, yung livelihood kit, which is worth 5,000 to 8,000 to selected and qualified potential MSMEs. Then we also have another program which is Pangkabuhayan sa Pagbangon at Ginhawa. This is a similar concept to negosyo serbisyo sa barangay also. And I don't know if you have heard about our OTOP program, no? One Town, One Product. So I think that this is a very effective program that we have. We have already 55 OTOP hubs all over the country as of today. The OTOP hub is an initiative of DTI to mainstream the MSME products. And this is actually a kind of a physical store housing the product of the OTOP. one town, one product. And now that we are in the state of pandemic, many of the auto hubs that we have are already starting to migrate to becoming online. Okay, so that is a very good development sa auto hub natin. So yung mga maliliit natin na mga negosyante, tawag natin sa kanila autopreneurs, they under the one town one product, we help them in terms of packaging, product development, product innovation, and they have a platform where to sell this. And even the OTOP, we have conducted an OTOP online, no? Itong virtual trade fair natin from the national to the regional and even down to the provincial level. And the Go Local, we also have this Go Local. It serves as marketing platform, again, for our MSMEs to gain access to the lucrative consumer market and ultimately to the global market. So we have this Go Local, and probably when you go to SM and to other department stores here, you can see a corner and you see the label there, Go Local. Na-negotiate din ito ni Secretary Mon na ang hirap kasing pumasok ng mga MSMEs, no, sa ating mga malalaking department stores. He was able to negotiate that exempted sila from paying the listing fee. And this, anyway, that this is just a trial market, and if they already pass that, then they can pull out, and we again introduce another set of product. So given this, we already have this, virtual national trade fair, as I have mentioned. Now, in closing, we in the Department of Trade and Industry, we believe that our MSMEs, and the Philippine businesses in general will not only recover, but actually recover well in 2021. We can bounce back for a stronger, responsible, and more dynamic Philippines. Our ultimate goal is that with your support, our country's economic growth story will continue to even become better post-COVID. Through jobs and employment generated by the businesses and investments, our people can gain better and live a more comfortable quality of life. So we hope to work together closely with Bounce
Yes.
Back Philippines for a
Yes.
brighter 2021. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Maraming
Yusuf.
salamat.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So, the
Second.
top 3 points that I got from your talk is, well, of course, 99.5% of establishments are as MSMEs, 35.7% are also um, um, 35.7%, so are also in different retail establishments. 56.4% are now open. So that's good news. And then 29.2% are partially open, and 4.2 have stopped operation. So we know that's really collateral damage. And we're really happy with what you said about digital negosio centers, and of course the BMBE and the SB corporation. As a Go Negosyo mentor myself and us in the SME sector, we really appreciate this. We know for a fact that this is really helping a lot of people on the ground. So again, ma'am, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to DTI. Thank you, thank you. All right. So with that, after DTI, I
Thank you
bring
very
you.
much.
Thank you, po. Okay, we have JV Wong to introduce our next guest. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Nato. And maraming salamat po, DTI USEC, Blasila A. Lantayona. You really are supporting the Shine as One theme for today. Maraming salamat for all of your help. Now, to share about the state of technology in the Philippines, focusing on ICT updates on MSMEs, tuloy-tuloy lang po tayo. Moving forward, let's watch the video message of our DICT Undersecretary Senator Gregorio B. Honasan. Hi everyone, like it is how we have been used to virtual setup. We will make sure that to replay that video this time with audio. And again, the reason why we're all here is celebrating the first year anniversary of Bounce Back PH. And along with my co-host and partner Nato, kami po ay masayang masaya because of the entire support, volunteerism, partnerships of everyone in the community. Again, while we are waiting for the video, paalalahanan ko lamang, we already have 1.1 or more than 1 million supporters and members of Bounce Back PH, and we are still inviting more and more people to join us in this advocacy. As we move forward, we will go back and hear the video of our DICT Secretary, Senator Gregorio Honasan. But for the meantime, allow me to introduce to you the next keynote speaker that will focus on the state of education by DepEd. Partner Nato, let me introduce this speaker. With the pandemic statistics ever rising, our state of education is in the line of fire. Let's hear the state of education from the DepEd perspectives and, of course, focusing on studies and how it is now with the pandemic and our education. Let us learn from DepEd USEC Alain Del Pascua. Let's tune into the video.
Good morning. So we will be reading the statement from the Department of Education from Undersecretary Alain Pascua. So allow me to read it. So message for Bounce Back's first anniversary. On behalf of the Department of Education, I'd like to congratulate Bounce Back Philippines on its first anniversary. What a year it has been for Bounce Back Philippines and DepEd, as well as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to affect our lives. Back in May 2020, just a few months from the beginning of Bounce Back Philippines, it already partnered with DepEd through Bounce Back Academy, organizing the webinar Education in the New Normal, bringing together resource persons from different organizations to share their expertise to help to help learners. It provided the much needed support to ensure that students and teachers bounce back even in the uncertainty of the new normal. After that initiative, Bounce Back Philippines continued to offer a series of webinars in support of the continuity of education. With the same theme, Shine as One, Bounce Back Philippines' first anniversary encapsulates the underlying theme of the DepEd is able to continue reaching its learners even as schools remain closed and face-to-face instruction is still not allowed. Working together within the department and externally with shareholders, we at DepEd have successfully weathered school year 2020-2021 and is now in the fourth quarter of the academic year. School year 2020-21 saw an increase in enrollment in public schools to a total of 22,712,409 enrollees. With enrollment opened in June 2020, more than 6 million learners enrolled despite the uncertainty of the situation then. The new normal in Philippine education was stabilized by Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, BELCP, by offering blended learning to students and their families. Education in the time of pandemic suddenly became realistic and doable. Under the BELCP, DepEd defined 4 modalities for distance learning. These are the use of print-based self-learning modules and online learning, as well as television and radio-based instruction. Let me share with you some of the milestones. Early on, DepEd created the DepEd Commons as a free online platform to promote easy and open access to educational resources, or OERs. This was meant to support the teaching and learning process in any type of an environment and situation. The milestone paved the way for partnerships with telcos, They put DepEd Commons in their whitelist, making the platform available to everyone, even with the absence of credit data. Interactive exercises, slides, tutorials, video explainers, electronic books, and gamified OERs were uploaded to make studies engaging, effective, and fun. From its launch in March 17, 2020, the number of DepEd Common users has increased to 9,669,493 students. The platform enabled learners to have access to mobile devices to keep on obtaining knowledge. Self-learning modules were uploaded to DepEd Commons to easily distribute soft copies in the field. Likewise, continuous upgrading was conducted in the platform to meet the growing demands of learners and teachers. As a result, DepEd Commons was swiftly recognized by Google as one of the most searched platforms for 2020, the same year it was created. The creation of DepEd TV programs hosted by teacher broadcasters was meant to supplement the instructional learning delivery through television. This modality was expected to reach 72% of the total number of enrolled students. The episodes were shown on cable TV, direct to home, and digital terrestrial television subscriptions. To gain a wider reach, all video materials were uploaded to the official DepEd TV YouTube channel. DepEd TV being a powerful component in the blended learning modalities targeted to produce 130 episodes per week to cover the major subjects under the most essential learning competencies or MELCs. The topics covered subjects across all grade levels from K to 12. Currently, tapping the production of video episodes are ongoing to support the needs of all Filipino children. Their right to quality education must be protected even through the most difficult times. The efforts of DepEd TV creators paid off after the Education Alliance, an international award-giving organization in education technology, recognized the programming service as a very good and innovation. DepEd TV became a nominee and a finalist under the category Crisis and Conflict Response in the prestigious body's program lineup. Educational Alliance also recognized the awarded DepEd and awarded DepEd for the DepEd TV and DepEd Commons programs as Policy EdTech Champion. These are but only some of the updates and accomplishments that DepEd has worked hard for in the past year. All the benefit of the Filipino learners wherever they may be and through any means available. After 1 year of operation, Bounce Back Philippines, just like DepEd, still have many challenges to face and overcome. There's still much work to be done to ensure that our learners continue to receive quality educational services and bounce back from setbacks of this pandemic. Let this challenge fuel you to be more innovative, more creative, more passionate in your commitment to your members and stakeholders. Congratulations once again on your first anniversary, and may you continue your hard work in service of our countrymen. Together, let us shine as one. Signed, Alain Del V. Pasqua, Undersecretary, keynote message for the first anniversary of Bounce Back Philippines. Thank you very much, Undersecretary Alain. It's been a pleasure helping and partnering with DepEd across the pandemic through Bounce Back. And now I believe Bounce Back has several learning programs as well. And part of that is the practical learning coaches, which is like we have now about 100, more than 100 volunteers, JV, for the practical learning series for Bounce Back. And like Jason mentioned earlier, the intention is really to come up with what we call the Digital Buy-in Initiative, where we will train 10 million Filipino entrepreneurs. And I think Jason tried to mention earlier that we also recently launched the Bounce Back PH Youth Entrepreneurship group, which is we want to reach out already now to the learners in college who are into entrepreneurship. So JB, yes, please.
Ay Nato, alam mo hindi lang sa daliri ng kamay ko tayo nagbibilang eh. We're talking about thousands ha. And
Yeah.
it's really by way of volume and massive volunteerism ang na-experience natin through Bounce Back PH.
Yes.
So congratulations again.
Yes, JB. Yeah, I just want to explain that because, at the end of the day, what we need are really people who are employable, who can be resilient and, rise above all these crises. Because this is not going to be the only one, believe me. And
Yes, I'm definitely
really,
sure.
yeah, the target really is to create a critical mass of people who will be entrepreneurs. Yeah.
Partner Nato, maraming salamat for reading the entire message of
Yes.
Yusek Alain Del Pascua. And
Yes.
given that, I'd like to highlight that DepEd has evidently started embracing the digital experience and social media platform. An example is the DepEd TV. They also
Yes.
assure us that all of their efforts are aligned to the learning competencies, right, Nato?
That's
And
true. That's true.
together with Bounce Back PH, ang DepEd po will help us shine as one student, one school at a time. Let's bounce back and move forward. While we are all in this together, it is best to be inspired and uplifted by stories during COVID 19. Let's
Yes.
focus on the state of fintech story, zooming in to the Gcash story and best practice sharing. So handa na po ba kayo sa lahat ng mga nag-Gcash dyan? Let's hear
Oh,
and learn from
I'm
Mr. Luigi
ready.
Reyes.
Yes.
Again, let's hear and learn from Mr. Luigi Reyes, Mint Vice President for Enterprise. Magandang umaga, Sir Luigi.
Welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me to talk today. Yeah, it's really great to be here.
And it is our joy and honor, sir, to be here. I'm giving you the entire floor to inspire our Bounce Back PH community. Go ahead, sir.
Yes,
Thank
please.
you. Is my presentation there? Anton, is the presentation ready? There we go. So, everybody has been affected by this pandemic. Next slide, please. And as can be seen, there really has been a drop in GDP. Unemployment is also increasing with around 5 million people. And there are around 4 to 5 million businesses that either have closed or partially or completely. And because of this strict lockdown, what has happened is that we have moved into a situation wherein work from home is now normal. Distance learning, people selling or buying products on FB, on Instagram, or Viber. And now people are also thinking about what am I going to do? How am I going to save more money? How am I going to use my money better? And luckily, and I want to thank people because some people have chosen to use Gcash for online shopping, for bills payments instead of going outside, also for buying things through send money or even to bank transfers. And then for those who thought of saving their funds, Gcash has also been a good use case for them. So they started putting money into savings, investments, and even doing insurance. So a lot of things that a lot of people used to do now during the pandemic. Next slide, please. So during this non-contact revolution, Gcash became an essential app. Can you believe that we were ranked one of the top third downloaded apps in the Philippines? And why? It's because a lot of use cases became relevant to the people who had to do things from their home. But not only did individuals get to use Gcash, the public sector or the government used Gcash for distribution of social amelioration using the DSWD and the LTFRB funds. They were able to send money to over 2 million people. Of course, LGUs like Makati and Quezon City also use Gcash. So other ways in which Gcash was utilized was in donation drives during calamities. Lots of national non-government organizations use Gcash to collect funds to help our fellow Filipinos in this time of need. But there's also more. Did you know that during our Gcash promotions on Christmas on December, on December 12th, we had almost 8 million people who logged on in a single day. That's a lot of users going digital because they knew that there has to be some activities, promos out there that they can take advantage of in this time of need. Next slide, please. Because of people like you, Gcash became the number one finance app in the Philippines. And we continuously strive to drive relevant use cases and making it easy for people to use our service, use our products. So, an example from cashing in, we have got lots of areas where you can cash in offline, over 30,000. And you can do it also cashing in online. What does that mean? Doing a bank transfer, sending money into the Gcash wallet. Because once you have funds in your Gcash wallet, what can you do with it? You can send money to other people. You can send it as payments. You can transfer it to the bank. But you can also do other things like QR payments, paying your bills, paying your government services. And of course, you can now save money, invest your funds, buy personal insurance. But there are more interesting things that are happening now. Like we've created this new product called G Life, wherein we can put partner apps within the Gcash app. So thanks to this push, thanks to individual users, we have now surpassed 33 million users of Gcash. And did you know that also we have over 1 million formal and informal merchants using Gcash as a form of payment acceptance? So imagine that more than 1 million people, merchants, are have their companies, whether formal or informal, using Gcash as a payment gateway. Next slide, please. Because of this drive and because we're seeing a need for people to use Gcash for payment acceptance, we also know that some people are experiencing, I don't want to share my mobile number. Sometimes I get payments or I send payments that are wrongly made. So we've created a new product called Personal QR, where you can send a QR code to the person who is going to pay you with the correct amount. So it's safe, it's quick, and at the same time, there are no errors. And you get your money without the person knowing your own mobile number. So it is things like this that we're innovating to create more ease for MSMEs to do more business and to make it very convenient. Next slide, please. We also have products that are not just for the MSMEs, but also for big companies. So you have the regular QR payments, online payments, you have the regular supplier payments or utility payments. But did you know that Gcash also has a payroll platform? So from registering your employees, your agents using the platform, we also have Gcash Mastercards that can be attached to this payroll account. And then you can disburse funds 24/7 using this account. So what that means is anytime you want to pay your payroll, your allowance, your incentives, some people use this for petty cash. You can do this real time. So you don't now need to leave your office or your house, and you can do all of these kinds of transactions within the Gcash platform. Next slide, please. But now that you have funds in the app, what can you do with it? So we have increased our GSave, or what we call our savings account, by making it easy, accessible, and at the same time give the best interest rate. You can have as much as 4% per annum interest rate in the Gcash app. Of course, we also have investments. So we've just actually launched additional investments last February that you now can do you can choose depending on your risk, depending on your risk appetite, you can choose which platforms, which funds you want to invest in. And then now on insurance, you want to protect yourself from COVID or from other things, dengue, we also have that in our platform. So these are bite-sized insurance premiums that you can avail on Gcash. So now that you have funds, many things you can do aside from payments, disbursements, um, and of course, sending money. Next slide, please. But there's more. Imagine putting an app within the Gcash app. Imagine that you can create a targeted campaign focusing on the right demographics of who is your customer base. Imagine a one-click checkout wherein it is completely seamless within the app without having to go to another page to do another transaction. Without having to memorize your account number, you're able to do a clean purchase of the items that you'd like. These are the new innovations that Gcash wants to keep creating to keep the relevance of the Gcash to our total customer base. Next slide, please. I'm not sure if you've seen this, but from chicken promos to SIM card promos, you can do many things on the Gcash app. So last February, we created promos for KFC, wherein 50% off on bucket chicken meals. At the same time, created promos so that you can get your SIM cards delivered to your house with Gomo. And as you can see, we have other brands available from McDonald's, Boozy. We even have supermarkets, Pure Gold, and other services within the Gcash app. And a lot more soon to come from Goldilocks, Jayco. A lot of the food merchants are all coming on board because they feel and they see that Gcash can hit the target segments that they want to go to. But next slide, please. I think Gcash is not just that. Gcash, and I just wanted to share, it's about financial inclusion. It's about finance for all. So it has been Gcash's mission to serve the underserved, the underbanked. And when I see messages like this, wherein a fisherman was able to accept payments on Gcash because the person who was going to pay didn't have cash on her in that time of purchase, or a tricycle driver who wants to go digital because he wants to be safe in this time, or an individual who said, I didn't have money and I needed to pay for my bill and I used G credit. It's stories like these that show that Gcash is not just relevant to business folk that are in the cities, but are relevant to business folk even outside. And it's these kinds of programs that tell me that Gcash is in the right path and Gcash is headed to areas to really helping the Filipino. Thank you very much for allowing me to talk today. It was an honor and a pleasure.
Maraming salamat, Sir Luigi.
Thank you, Luigi, for
Thank you
joining us.
very much.
I
Been
was
a
just
pleasure.
sending on chat that I'm learning a lot more using the Gcash features, and I really and totally love personalizing QR codes. So just to let you know.
Thank you very much.
And through your
Well,
talk, mas marami pa po akong natutunang feature, sir.
Yes, and if you need anything more, you know how to reach us.
yeah, Luigi, I'm
Definitely.
also a Gcash user, so I was really impressed about the rural setting that you're now going into, which is very good for financial inclusion. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you
That's
too.
right. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our bounce back community, allow me just to recap salient points from Mr. Luigi Reyes, Mint Vice President for Enterprise. Gcash's advocacy is financial inclusion. Walang pwedeng mahuli, walang pwedeng maiwan. Gcash has become the number one app in the Philippines, and with the non-contact revolution, sabi nga po niya, Gcash has become an essential application. Take note of the statistics. 1 million formal or informal merchants via Gcash as payment gateway. At nung December 12 po, 8 million ang nag-log in on a single day. Today, 33 million users of Gcash. Gcash, may God bless you and your path to financial literacy. Go ahead, Nato. Kindly introduce our next wonderful
All
speaker.
right. Yes, Thank you, JV. Thank you, Luigi, for joining us. All right. So our next speaker will be Dean Pax Lapid. He's chair of ITSPAC and Lead More. So the pandemic has triggered creativity, innovation, entrepreneurial spirit amongst some of us, or all of us, maybe. While they say that COVID-19 is a curse to mankind, to BBPH, we see this as a crisis, but it's an opportunity as well to learn more and become better versions of ourselves. So let's learn from Dean Pax Lapid, who is the chairman of ITSPAC and Lead More, and as he gives us the way forward to personal mastery for entrepreneurs like all of us. Yes.
Hi, Nato. Hi, JV. Thank you for the invitation. So, first time
Yes, welcome. Thank you.
I've met you in the online platform with JB, but of course, Sam Hakoba and Jason are good friends, especially Sam, that we're together in Brother Bo Sanchez TRC, Truly Rich Club, as well as My Power Morning. So, kaya with the invitation of Sam, sabi ko, pagbibigyan kita kako, Sam. So, kung hindi lang ikaw kako and bounce back, I've been one of your early members during
Yes,
March
that's right.
pa lang yun. I came in already. So thanks for the privilege. So I'll now be sharing my
Yes, Dean,
slides.
go
So
ahead. Thank you. Thank you.
it'll take me about 15 to 20 minutes to share with you what I believe would be some of the insights to personal mastery. Are you now able to see my slide? Nato? Can you see it? No, wala pa.
Yes, perfect. It's there. All right.
So I'm sharing it already. So let me start. So again, congratulations to our Bounce Back Philippines for your first anniversary on Shine as One and Shining Forward. So with the screen that you can now see, so I'm chairman of IT SPAC. It's a company doing a lot of IT development, resourcing, and infra for North American clients, particularly in pandemic. We were doing a lot of business for Safeway, which is the grocery chain, and Albertson, which is the pharmacy chain in the West Coast. So I also have a company called Leadboard Development na banggit kanina ni Yusek Bless about the activities for USAID. So we are the technical and training partner of USAID to train close to 650 mentors of mentees and mentors of DTI NATCO and beneficiaries, generating almost 350 storefronts during pandemic and creating a sales of 36 million pesos for 6 months in a lockdown environment. So those are the two companies that I'm very active. Of course, I've got other companies which you can just check my FB profile or even LinkedIn. So moving on, so I'd like to wish everyone a bounce back in 2021. Admittedly, when we were doing 2020, we were surviving and we were accepting, adapting, and acting towards survival. But I love what Jason, Sam, Nato, JV all done on the bounce back Philippines of a community that you've generated, making sure that people are here to help. And congratulations that you've generated close to probably $500 million pesos on contributions that you are now doing a lot of advocacies for our communities. So my wish for everyone looking into our FB page right now, into our StreamYard, my wish for you is to discover your passion. Because when you do, you will be unstoppable. My wish for you is to discover your reason why. The reason why you must. So let me talk first about passion. A lot of people or a lot of mentors will say, follow your passion. But I will redefine passion as something that you love to do and something that you are good at. Brothers and sisters, members of Bounce Back, its benefactors, passion is not just a love. It is also a confidence with a competence that you want to do. When you do that, then you will be unstoppable. When I say my wish for you is to find your reason why, the group of Bounce Back has found the purpose, the reason why you must do it. So, in fact, in my Happy Retiree book, I said there are only two great moments in a person's life. The first is the moment that you were born. The second is the moment that you discover why you were made here on earth by our Father God. Of course, our parents were the vehicle by which we were born. Remember, when we now have our tombstones and RIP, there will only be two dates there. The date that you were born, a hyphen sign, which is very short, and the date that you died. So, what do you do on the shortness of that hyphen sign? The hyphen sign or the dash represents our life. And that's my next wish for all of you, to create your own greatest life. The greatest life is not about all the treasures in the world. The greatest life is the best version of yourself. When you try and create the best version of yourself, it is worth the price, it is worth the fight. Remember, you must endure the journey with eyes on that prize of being the best version of yourself. Finally, my wish for you is to become rich, not rich in money terms. So, I will do a bit of Taglish. What is rich in Tagalog? Rich in Tagalog is mapera. I wish for you to become wealthy because rich is strong in the pocket and the wallet. Wealthy is strong in the mind and the heart. The rich will always want to live in luxury. The wealthy would want to live a legacy. Finding your purpose, creating your own greatest life, and finding not just success but also significance will become you truly rich, especially in your soul. So doon pa lang, nato JB and to everybody, maganda na agad yung ating first slide. Let me now move. So I will give you 5 snippets of the insights for personal mastery for an MSME or even anybody. Look at personal mastery about business. So it's about passion or the dream, God's given gift, or even your advocacy to help others, like what Bounce Back Philippines is doing, or promoting nature or building a community. I've already talked about passion. Passion is waking up in the morning, doing what you love to do and you're good at. Again, love to do and you're good at. Dream. Everybody says follow your dream. I will agree, but I will redefine dreams. Dreams are free, but brothers and sisters, dreams has a cost to make it reality. The dream is free, diba? The daydreaming is free, but the daring dream is never free. Your time, your effort, your challenge, and all the things of your perspiration and action takes you to that daring dream. God-given gift. You have to discover that. And only God will tell you what that is. It is not a given myth. A given myth is something that you just think about yourself. You really have to, what's a God-given gift? So if you think that that's the God, you have to try it. You have to try it. You have to try it. You have to try and cry for it. You have to try and fry for it until you try and fly with it. That's a God-given gift. Advocacy for help others. Well, when you say life is fulfilled, it is full of meaning and filled with blessing. The advocacy part or the service part of the journey is a life full of meaning. Other than add on the filled with blessing, that's why it's fulfilled. When you are now full of meaning, it starts with service. And service starts with sincerity. Sincerity begets respect, begets trust. And trust begets respect. And that's the only time that you will build your business, and you will build communities where people will follow you. That's why I'm so excited about your first anniversary in Bounce Back. Your first lesson in mastery. Whatever you want to do in passion, whatever you want to do in a dream, whatever you want to do as God-given gift, your advocacy, you have to work on it and you have to work for it. Personal mastery is seen in hard times. So, a lot have asked, who will survive the new normal? Who will survive the new normal? So, I can just share with you, Charles Darwin in theory of evolution is that it is not the strongest that will survive the new normal. It is not the most intelligent that will survive the new normal. It is the guy or the guys and the girls most responsive to change that will survive the new normal. Remember, we are still getting into the early new normal. The vaccine is not yet around. So, brothers and sisters, life is about choices. Life is about chances. Life is about change. So, how do you now balance that? My next mastery lesson for each and every one of you. You make the choice to take the chance if you want to change. I'll repeat. Choices, chances, and changes. You have to combine the three to make the choice, to take the chance if you want to change. As I move on, personal mastery in business is a process. Yeah. It's not a one-time action. It's not a one-time seminar. Personal mastery, brothers and sisters, is a process of moving from your courage zone, of your comfort zone, into a courage zone. So, what are the steps of moving from a comfort zone into a courage zone? The comfort zone, a lot of people are now confined or contained in their houses or even in their barangays, especially those quarantined. I would believe that they feel safe, they have some sort of control. But if you really want the courage zone lies in the fear zone and the learning zone. That's what you need to hurdle the fear and the learning as you now want to survive, to thrive. 2020 is all about a comfort and a fear zone. To some extent, some wanted some learning, but not serious learning. So, moving from a fear and a zone and the learning zone only gets you to a growth zone where you now seek discomfort to conquer your objectives, to live the dream that you want to dream, to find your purpose, and even setting a new goal. So, what's the mastery lesson in this slide? You have to change from the ordinary to the extraordinary. Din ano yun? What's the extraordinary? It's easy. You just find some extra in the ordinary. What Jason, Sam, JV, and Nato did, an ordinary FB community turning into a bounce back PH that's got so much membership and so much advocacy now and then even moving forward. I'm so happy that you're now doing your Bounce Back Academy. Congratulations, guys. So, change from the ordinary to the extraordinary is doing ordinary things extraordinarily. So, another mastery lesson, you have to change from the ordinary to the extraordinary, moving from a comfort zone into a courage zone. The comfort zone, you will just be making a living. A courage zone into a growth zone, you are making a life. I talked about change process. It is not two-dimensional. The change process is seen in three-dimensional. And my own thing for three-dimensional is my 3Ds of direction, my 3Ds of determination, and my 3Ds of destiny. Direction is not just maybe one goal, but actually many goals. It's not one goal, but many goals with focus. When you have focus, you got a laser eye and a laser mind to really take action on your goals. Your actions, your goals will have a lot of failure. That's why you need perseverance. And that's where determination comes in. You try and try. You try and cry. You try and fry. You burn until you try and then you only fly. And that becomes destiny. Your mastery lesson for personal mastery. Dreams will only be fulfilled if you are mastering the journey with mentors. Yes, a lot are mastering the journey. It's taking them a long, long time. Why? Because they don't have mentors. You have to make sure that when you choose your mentors, it is based on credibility, it is based on competency, it is based on capability, meaning they can teach what they preach and they have reached what they preach. And then more importantly, they're mentoring for you to search for opportunity and then the setup. It's not a question of setup. It's a question of your self-awareness, your values and your skills. It's a question of search for opportunity, only set up. After all, if you spell the word business, BUSINESS, is spelled with 3 S. And my 3 S is self, search, and set up. You have to be mastering the journey with mentors. So, let me explain a bit. So, as I go and end my presentation, there's a big difference between mastery and mastering. Mastery is maybe just a comprehensive knowledge or acquired skill of a certain subject. You take a test or take a task. Mastering, on the other hand, is the combination of drive, a combination of self-discipline, a combination again of laser focus of the process of learning until you excel on it and you now become a self-directed learner. Mastery can bring you an ordinary business. It aligns to everyone else. It's conformity. Mastering can give you an extraordinary business. Then the extra is ang hindi nakikita ng iba na nakita mo ang siyang kikita. As quote from my good friend Carlo Calimon. So, an extraordinary business, mastering. So, if the first allows for conformity, this allows for creativity. So, mentoring. It's not plain lecture, brothers and sisters. It's not just talk. It's about taking a learning process. It's not a winded seminar. So, I've got my respect for a lot of people doing a lot of online seminars and webinar, but it's really a winding journey. It's a boot camp, as we're doing a lot of things now with DTI, with Yusek Bless and Secretary Mon and PTC Jimea. It's not just a plain contract. It's a contact relationship. So remember, mentoring is the mentor acting to help somebody else to learn despite the risk and taking on the helm sometimes. So it's a long-term relationship. As I end, your action towards mastering is CPAG. So I'd like to help anybody become a top SME. But again, if you yearn to earn, you need to yearn to learn. Brothers and sisters, if you don't want to learn, I cannot help you. But if you want to learn, I cannot stop you. And your first action is CPAG. C is for sikap, Pag is paggawa. Sikap, perseverance. So I've said already earlier on, try and try, even if you cry, try and try, even if you cry and fry, you burn some money. Try and try until you fly. Paggawa is about action towards competitiveness. And what is competitiveness? I'll put you in a poem. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best amongst the rest. That is competitiveness. When you now have sikap and paggawa, sooner than later, you will now have sikat and paggaling. Your sikat is your prestige and prominence. It did not take me overnight to become a best-selling author, 5 books altogether. It did not take overnight to make me a great speaker. I have my master's degree in entrepreneurship. I got my PA doctorate degree in organizational development. I've got 20 years of business experience. So all about sikap and paggawa, and of all those businesses of 14, only half of them are still surviving. So even I fail. Even I fail. Even I fry. Even I try a lot of times. But only then, after years of experience, as Malcolm Gladwell would say, it takes 10,000 hours for you to become an expert. Once you're an expert, you now have the prominence and the prestige. My next mastery lesson for all of you, I can teach everybody entrepreneurship, but not everybody will become entrepreneurs. But I can guarantee you that you can all have an enterprising spirit to move up in life. And an enterprising spirit is ma-abilidad. As I end, I'm doing, if nabitin po kayo sa 15-20 minute session, I'm doing a half-day session, March 22, personal mastery session with Handog Kabuhayan, Alay Kewana. So you can see, I hope our host can pick up the link, bit.ly/HKAKJ _ there's an underscore ENG. Okay. And then for you to apply, I will get 75 scholars if you're all women. You'll be able to translate a dream into a business. You'll be able to prepare your mind to convey a compelling opportunity. You'll be able to understand that not all the ideas will turn into a successful business. And more importantly, it will make yourself ready and committed for that personal mastery to become an entrepreneur. I hope you can join the FB page, that as big as Bounce Back. I've created almost 1,000 members already in a month lang. 3A DTI BizMed PTTC. Fill up the application on the link. Catch me on FB, Dean Pax Lapid. If you like my 15-minute learning, micro-learning, so pick me up in YouTube, bit.ly, Dean Pax Video. Even this lecture, I will put that in that channel. So, Handog Kabuhayan, Alay Kewana, bit.ly, HKAKJ _ ENG. My last personal mastery lesson. If you have a dream business, never sleep on it. Work on it and work for it. Kaya, sa spirito ng kasipagan, sapian mo ako. Maraming salamat, JB. Maraming salamat, Nato. Maraming salamat, Jason and Sam. Please catch all my other friends, Paolo Tibig, Maylene Abiba this afternoon. And that's my connection to all of you. Thank you. Happy anniversary.
Thank
Grabe,
you.
umaalab.
Grabe, ang energy, ang power.
Umaalab.
Power.
Syempre, alang-alang sa bounce back yan. Alang-alang sa bounce back. Kaya kayo, sinapian kayo ng kasipagan. Congratulations.
Thank you, nako.
Grabe.
Talagang kulang ang kalahating araw, isang araw para kay Dita.
So, I hope I have inspired. I have inspired your audience. So, sana Nato and JV continue your good work. And like I said, I'm so privileged to be part of your first anniversary. You've got other good speakers like Paulo Tibig this afternoon. Paulo has always been with me in my mga corporate gigs and mga keynote speaking like this. Kaya you've got very, very good people ahead of me. So again, maraming salamat. Keep safe and God bless.
God bless you.
Okay.
Grabe.
God
Sobrang
bless you
naantig
too.
ah. Sobrang naantig ang puso ko. Parang na-ignite mo talaga kami, Dean Pax. Maraming salamat po. Oh my. Umaalab ng apoy dito sa Bounce Back PH community first year celebration of its anniversary. Go ahead na to. Kamusta ka
Yeah.
naman? Ano ang
So,
nararamdaman mo after
hindi.
that?
Ako kasi parang lumalabas ang dami naming common friends. Sila Carlos, sila Mylene, maybe coming from the Philippine Marketing Association as well. Even sila RJ. So anyway, okay, so yung points na nakuha ko dito, medyo marami. Kaso dapat 3 points lang, di ba? So 5 yung nakuha ko. Hindi. Anyway, personal mastery is seen in hard times, number 1. Number 2, make the choice to take the chance if you want to change. Oh, number
Parang
2
may
yun.
mga parang may alliteration pa nga na at creativity si Dean Pax, no? Kailangan tandaan
Exactly.
talaga natin eh.
Yan ang mga kaisipang very literary or medyo mga artistic people. So, direction, determination, destiny. Yung nakuha ko last point is mastering the journey with mentors. Okay. So, in our lifetime, maraming tayong makikilala, friends, colleagues, etc. But look for mentors who will guide you, not just your business, but your life. So, sabi nga, there's this Bible verse that says, unless the Lord builds the house, the laborers labor in vain. So, hanapin natin because God uses people, specific people who will really be our mentors, no. I recall one of my mentors was really, medyo nahirapan ako because for 10 years he was my mentor, and then he really challenged me. He made me come out of my comfort zone, and at the end of the day, after 10 years na naiinis na ako minsan because of that mentor, parang I could do it, I could do things mentally, quickly, fast, and because of that mentor. So, that mentoring is also provided here in Bounce Back PH. We want to have more volunteer mentors, and later we will have the Bounce Back stories from our MSME friends. And yeah, JB, please go ahead.
And pwede ba naming imbitahan ang mga kasama natin sa chat, and there are different social media watching us right now. Ano po ba ang nagpaantig ng puso ninyo sa talk ng personal mastery ni Dean Pax? Please chat now. And talking about that, sabi nga ni Sir Nolly Manalo sa chat, it is both bounce back and bounce forward. Maraming pala at fans si Dean Pax.
Oo, grabe.
And as we move forward, ang aking nakuha is really work on it and
Yeah.
work for it. My
Yes.
dear Bounce Back Philippines community, one thing we love celebrating here in our community would be stories of resilience and persistence, ang pagsisipag against all
Sure.
odds. As we move forward, as we bounce forward in this panel that you will see next, you will hear real life bounce back stories among entrepreneurs which got strengthened via BBPH or Bounce Back PH partnerships. Sila po talaga ang sumanib at tumulong din sa paglago ng Bounce Back PH and vice versa. No matter how much headwinds and challenges, they were able to face them head on. So, let's get it on. You know what? Your moderator is my partner and co-host, Mr. Nato Agbayani, the Bounce Back PH co-founder. And allow me to introduce to you our esteemed and very noteworthy panelists. The first one that we have would be RJ Ledesma, co-founder of Mercato Central. We also have Rash David, entrepreneur and part of Qubit Life, a Bitcoin platform. Miss Mel Dominguez, na kilala ko na, 2 dekada na, founder and CEO of Dominguez Marketing and Communications, Inc. And of course, we also have Maggie Antonio, Executive Director of Blue Point Foundation. And of course, last but not the least is JP Soliman, SME segment for Customer Experience Group Head and Lead of Union Bank Global Linker. Talaga namang umaapaw, siksik, liglig pa ang ating panelists. Back to you, Sir Nato.
All right. So, hi, RJ. Hello,
Morning,
Ray.
Nato. Morning,
Hi.
JV.
Hello. Oh,
Hi,
guys.
Mel, Maggie,
everyone!
Japes.
Hi,
Hi, guys.
Nice to see you. Nice to see all of you here.
Morning.
Good
So,
morning.
Thank you for joining us in the first anniversary. I know you've been there from the beginning, di ba guys? Tayo yung mga
Yes.
nandun sa mga volunteers na nauna in the first wave, no? Nung pandemic.
right.
So what we'll do now siguro is just go ahead and tell your stories. Maybe we can start from RJ, then moving towards the people in the screen. Sige, RJ, please give us
Well,
your
again,
bounce back story. Yeah.
anyway, Nato and JV, thanks so much for hosting this. It's nice to be here attending a forum where I'm not the speaker, but I'm not the host or moderator, but rather just one of the guests. And I think one of the nice things now, I don't know if you remember, like I was floored this morning when I realized 1 year na para tayo natin na nakaganto, di ba?
Exactly.
I remember being invited to join the Bounce Back community by my friend from Vital Strats. One of this company is also an advertising company, and she asked me to join. And it was a time when Jason, our founder, was still you just put this together for just as a sounding board for many of us who were trying to figure out what to do at that time. And
Amri ba to?
yeah, hello, sorry.
Si Amri ba to?
Si Amri. Sorry, Amri. Yes. That was Amri. Amri invited me. I joined, and then I remember at that time we were still trying to figure out what to do. And if you remember that, it was still very raw at the time when Bounce Back began. And when we began it almost a year ago, it's just people putting advice. What do we do? Where do we go? And I remember all I could do, because I was also worried about my own company. We were just posting whatever best practices we could do. What were people doing in the midst of a crisis when people were looking back at the Asian economic crisis, at the US crisis, at the Spanish flu? People were just posting left and right. What could we do from a management standpoint and sort of improve? And then I recall that it was at that time that we started to evolve Bounce Back. Jason started seeing, how we were trying to figure out how can we become from just an advice platform where we could put things. People were trying to ask for help, so we started to put together different bounce back groups that were targeted, let's say, for schools, for food, for
Yes.
medicine. And then we started putting up then I asked, that's where Jason and I became fast friends online, kasi sabi ko, Jace, mag-admin na lang ako dyan para makatulong ako. And then we started bringing other people like Sam Hakoba backstage. We started bringing in Sam, and we brought in other people on the admin side, and we started forming different groups, not just groups for Bounce Back, which was this main Bounce Back page, but also Bounce Back per region. Nakita natin may taga Cebu, may Davao,
Yes.
may Southern Luzon. And then we started seeing, kailangan tulong ng real estate industry, because those are specific industries na marami na walang trabaho. So we had Bounce Back real estate, Bounce Back restaurants, Bounce Back online food centers. So that's where the community started to grow, and you could really see that it was a nice community where two things were happening. One was it was a place where people could go to connect, first of all, right? To connect,
Right.
to figure out what can I do, where can I get help for my industry, and what can I do for my industry, right? That was one thing that was happening. It was also a place where people would come for the latest sort of like news updates. How do I cope? What are we finding out about the virus at this time, and how are people dealing with it, not just in the Philippines but around the world? And the other one became specific to industries where we needed to rally people behind it. So we were doing our first set of magito streamer, di ba? Puno-puno. We would do for real estate, we would do for education, we would do for technology, we would do for MSMEs. So it became very interesting. On my part, and I wanted to make kwenta the bounce back story. That's really what was happening. I mean, Rich remembers we were there, di ba? Rich tayong mga backstage.
Yeah,
And
si Ray.
after we were all backstage when this was happening, and we were forming
Yes.
all these different groups, and we were all
Yes.
volunteers just coming in. And sometimes some volunteers, alam natin na they actually had COVID. Some of them, they were
Yeah.
COVID positive,
That's true.
but they were
Sila
stuck at
Logie.
home. And they couldn't do anything. So yeah, and
Logie,
so
Logie,
I remember
So-
there were groups there. Oh,
Oh, so you mentioned Rach, no? Rach, I'd like to go to you now. Remember, I think you were in the logistics group with Belly.
Yeah,
So
Del
can
Bartolome.
you
Yes.
ulit namin for we need X amount, we need this hospital needs this,
Yeah.
so many things, di ba? I think hindi na kayo nakakatulog. Tell us about it.
Well, yeah. Actually, I got into bounce back. I think before pa nung na-form ni Jason, I saw him kasi I was back from my trip sa Turkey and Mexico. So I was just bumming around. Tapos nag-post si Jason na he was organizing this group. So I said, so how can I help? Yun yung ano ko kasi wala naman akong ginagawa. And then he started to form a group and then committees. 'Di ba? Remember that? Iba-iba na yung committees. I initially had the volunteers for the frontliners. Yun yung unang hinawakan ko. So, those who needs help, tapos those who are willing to donate. So, it's like a match. Minamatch namin yung mga nangangailangan, mga hospitals, frontliners, at saka sino naman yung mga donors. So, that's what I was doing. So, I thought, okay lang, madali lang to. Keyboard warrior lang naman. But, yeah, I ended up like 18 hours for the next couple of weeks. Talagang as in, yung mata ko, ano na, nakaka-monitor doon sa what's going on.
Yeah,
And,
di ba,
yeah,
Rach, mga 3 o'clock ng madaling araw, nagte-text pa tayo sa GC. So, grabe talaga.
yes,
Walang
sobra.
natutulog.
Oo,
Yeah.
At saka,
alam mo yung,
idadagdag ko lang po, si Sama Koba, walang tulog yan. 4:00 ng umaga, nagsisend ng kung ano-anong template sa amin. Sam, saludo kami sa
Yes.
dedikasyon mo.
Oo.
Thank you, Rach,
yes,
for
that's
the
true, that's
story.
true. Yeah,
Parang
that's true.
networking tayo eh. Upline niya si RJ kanina, di ba? So,
That's true.
Rach,
And I
nako,
also
thank
wanna do
you.
a shout out doon sa mga volunteers natin kasi sila
Yes.
yung mga pro bono, 'di ba? Yan si
True,
Avery, Melody Ocomen, si Jonathan, at saka sino pa ba yung mga ano natin. So they're like talagang they spend time, 'di ba? They spend
true,
time
true.
to help us out. So nakakatuwa kasi doon makikita talaga yung bayanihan spirit. And of
Correct.
course yung mga yun nga naglabasan na yung mga other people from different organizations. Nagulat na lang ako, sabi ko, andun ako sa isang group and then suddenly I was in another group and in another group and in another group that I don't even know why am I there.
Ano ka, mega admin. Mega admin. So,
Yeah.
Rach, thank you for that story. Yung nga sinabi mo, a lot of people from different backgrounds came in to help. And one of them, of course, is in PR. So, let's welcome Mel Dominguez as well. Mel, what's your bounce back story?
Hi, Mel. Nice to
Hi,
see you
Mel.
here.
Mel, naka-mute ka, Mel.
Kilala ko na ang Dominguez Marketing and Communications, mga late 90s pa. During iFeel Communications, grabe, pillar na yan, si Mel Dominguez.
Ako, bata pa. Bata pa ako sa Smart. Kilala ko na sila eh. Anyway, sige Mel, go ahead. Tell us your bounce back story. Oh, okay. Parang the
Mute.
sound is alright. Sige. Alright, Mel.
Nangyayari talaga yan, partner
Oh,
nato.
balikan
Ay,
ka namin. We'll go now to Maggie first. If you don't mind, we'll be back with Mel in a while. So, Maggie, can you tell us your bounce back story?
Si Maggie, okay, nakapwesto sa balkonahe niya. Oh, tinan mo.
Oo nga.
Medyo na-eject ako pag dahil sa online classes eh. So, yun. Anyway, I'm Maggie Antonio from Blue Point Foundation. So, I'm not really on the forefront kung mapapansin nyo. Actually, it's just the first time to see most of the people here. But kasi kami sa Blue Point, in joining Bounce Back, we are really at the back office. So actually, we are the ones who help with the infra of Bounce Back. We host the web servers, the mail servers, and actually, I was one of the friends of Mr. Sam Hakoba, who was voluntold, volunteered
Voluntold.
voluntold.
to help out at Bounce Back. So initially, we're helping on the during the pandemic. We're helping on the side of the church. So we are a member of the church. We're helping dun sa training and then dun sa when calamity strike in I think
Yes.
back policies. But on bounce back, it was more of the thing that Blue Point specializes on. Kasi my husband, he works with PNP, and they said that these people sa PNP and then our medical teams, they were on
Yeah.
the frontliners. So sabi
Mhm.
ko, ano naman ang kayang magandang role ng Blue Point Foundation at this time of pandemic? So hindi naman tayo pwede magbigay ng medical or security for the people outside kasi bawal nga lumabas, 'di ba? So
Correct.
yes, so ang Blue Point, what we did is, ano kayang pwede natin maitulong at the back end during this time. So what we did is yun nga, we coordinated with Bounce Back with Jason and Sam, and then I think during this time, the time when we were really challenged, ayan, yun na yung word challenge, hindi na yung pressured parang kay Rage. Um, is when we had this training sa DepEd teachers, right?
Yes,
I think
I
there were
remember that.
yes, yes. And Sam told na we had this training and it was very effective, and we reached out to some of the people who were or some special teachers na kumbaga they are still at home and they don't know what to do. They are feeling I don't know, they're feeling sad because they're not active. So and they said that it would be good if they will have their something to something solid to hold on, 'di ba? Na parang after attending the conferences or the seminars from Bounce Back, from Google, ano pa ba yung mga host sponsors natin last time? Quipper, like that. And
Yeah.
but these people would want something na hahawakan nila. So they would want the certificate sana. And I don't know if it's it is a good problem to have that when Sam told us we have to generate um 35,000 plus certificates and it should be ASAP. Okay, 35,000 certificates for
Yeah.
all those
Hindi tayo
attendees.
nakakatulog niyan.
Yes, yes. So, sabi namin, nako, ito na yun, parang it's meal time. So, what we did is, I think for a few days, yung server namin, sige, go. Kung pwede namin paypayan yung server, go. So, we generated the certificates for the 35,000, more than 35,000. I think it's 9 gigabyte worth of files for them to download and for them to have something to have during this pandemic, and for them to bounce back. Kunwari, at this time, they can show to the companies or to the employers that, look, I have this bounce back certificate, that it is proof that I didn't like just sleep over the pandemic. So, I mean, Blueprint is very opportune, and we're really glad that we can also help, even if it's just the back end or the infra wise of
Yes,
Bounce Back or other companies that or churches that we have been helping.
that's right. Maggie, isa sa mga pinakatumulong din sa atin dyan, of course, si Jelix, no? Mercader,
Yeah, Jelix.
who is in fact one of who used to work with DepEd. He was communications head of DepEd for some time. So, really different types of people, different types of talents who are really giving back to the country, to the MSMEs. No, so right now, Mel, are you good? Nako.
At
Okay.
habang iniintay natin si Mel, sa chat
Alright.
room, both private and
Sorry.
public, si Sam talaga mahilig mag-voluntold yan Nato.
Okay.
Oo, parang nangyari sa atin, di ba? Na-voluntold tayo ni Sam.
Yeah. So, sige, ganito, JB. We'll go to JP Soliman again. He's like kasama natin sa Union Bank, right? Union Linker.
Yes.
JP, please tell us your story.
Right. Hi everyone. Actually, alam mo kanina, I was thinking, ano bang magandang story talaga i-share? Kasi, 'di ba, coming from people will see I'm from Union Bank, and normally malaking institution na yan and all these things. Pero to be honest, marami kaming natutunan sa bounce back. To go back to the year one or the first month
Yeah.
Right? Nung nakilala namin si Bounce Back, I got introduced to Jason, to Sam, and RJ later on, no. Ang question ko sa kanila before was, paano kami makakatulong sa community nyo? Kasi nung time na, actually, ito, pag uwi ko galing KL, galing Malaysia, day 1 ng lockdown. Nakakatakot nga kasi sa airport, ang sumundo sa akin, military, hindi asawa ko. Pagbaba mo ng plano, sasabihin sa'yo, ito, protocols, etc. Anyway, so nung nakilala ko si Bounce Back, sabi ko, paano kami makakatulong? And this time, nung niregroup ko yung team ko, sabi ko, wag na nating isipin paano tayo kikita dito. Ang lockdown na to, ang crisis na to is about paano ka makapag-give back.
Yeah.
It's not it's beyond CSR na for the corporate world, diba? It's beyond CSR. But as we went along, maraming natulong sa amin si Bounce Back. Honestly, mas marami kaming natutunan kay Bounce Back versus kami, siguro kami nakatulong, no, kay Bounce Back. Like, I give you an example. May mga times na doon sa pagtulong namin, nauubusan na rin kami ng bala. Meaning, ano pa ang pwede namin gawin? And mga times na yon, magpo-post lang kami, isang maliit na message sa community. What do you need from me? Simpleng ganun lang, di ba? And you will see massive number of replies coming from the SMEs. And doon kami natututo, paano ba talaga mag-strive or paano makaka-bounce back ang SME? Ano dapat nating gawin para madala sila doon, ma-enable sila sa pagdala nun? I'm sharing this with everyone. Alam nyo yung bagong product na nagawa namin sa Union, bakit tinatawag namin digital account opening for business? That started with inciting with Bounce Back members. Yung ginagawa namin ngayon na ila-launch namin in next month, which is a payment gateway.
Galing.
Payment gateway para sa mga SMEs, 70% na umattend sa aming inciting Bounce Back members. So imagine kung gaano kalaki tulong ang nabigay nyo rin sa amin. And that's why what we are planning to do also, pag binalik namin sa inyo to, as much as possible, gagawin namin siyang easy, gagawin namin siyang most affordable for you, and all those things. Kasi yun ang narinig namin sa inyo. So, look at it this way. Dati, kami as a bank, nakakalabas kami ng opisina namin. Nakaka-inciting kami face-to-face. Nawala lahat yun during pandemic.
Yeah.
Ang hirap gawin siya virtually, ha? Nag-zoom kayo or Google Meets kayo, tapos sabay-sabay nagsasalita lahat ng tao. Ang hirap. Tapos hindi mo makuha yung talagang essence nung, alam mo, iba yung body language, iba yung facial expressions, iba yung magkatabi kayo at nagkikwentuhan kayo. And yet, we were able to get what really is necessary para makapag-strive na tayo. Last year, ang theme, enable. Just give everyone what they need. This year, ang theme ng Bounce Back is to strive. Ang theme namin is to thrive. So now we are going to release all these learnings that we have at hindi kami titigil, makinig pa sa mga members ng Bounce Back at makinig pa sa mga kailangan ninyo. The more that we need you now, kasi we have to evolve further, di ba?
Yeah.
So, yun, nakatulong kayo sa amin, even a large corporate like Union Bank, nakatulong si Bounce Back, matindi.
Thank
Grabe,
you,
JP. Ang ganda ng stories mo. Ang ganda ng stories ninyo. JP, can you say it again, the product that you launched, born out of Bounce Back PH, inspired? Go ahead.
So the one we launched recently is what we call the digital account opening for business. So ang gagawin mo lang, you go online, you fill up everything and you're able to open a bank account with Union Bank. At hindi siya bank account na mamahalin. Baka lumabas plug-in pero just to mention, 5,000 peso deposit level lang, may business account ka na for your SME, for your micro business, no?
So,
Nice
business
one.
account na yan.
Business account. It's a checking account that
Wow.
enabled na siya sa
Wow.
everything you need. You need payroll, you need
Rich,
government
pwede na tayo.
payments, and so on and so forth. Yeah, nandun na siya sa website namin.
Yes, partner nato, ang sabi ni JP, 70% of the ones who registered there are from Bounce Back community.
Especially
it's-
registered during the inciting process kasi we need to find out ano yung customer
Yeah.
journey, ano yung requirement.
Grabe,
Imagine.
no? I mean, ang galing, JP. So, anyway, like I said, different talents, different areas of competencies nandito sa Bounce Back. Hindi kailangan natin ng si Jason was as the founder is like he's very humble, he's very God-fearing, and even yung mga kasama natin dito, I think, are the same. But it's very clear to them the direction that we need to take. That's why, in the course of the of bounce back, I think we needed somebody who had the skill or the talent sa PR, sa public relations,
Yeah.
because we wanted to engage a wider market. So finally,
Can
Mel,
you hear me
we
now?
go to
Yes,
Sorry.
yes.
Yes, we hear you,
I'm
Mel.
Finally.
on my
bounce
mobile. I'm
back,
so
Mel.
happy. Well, nag-bounce back na ako. And I'm very happy to be here. First of all, good morning. Sabi nga ni JV, nung maliliit pa kayo, we started Dominguez Marketing Communications na hindi pa ganito ang ang situation natin. Kasi pag kukuha ka lang ng name, pipila ka na, etc. And wala pang internet no when we started Dominguez Marketing. So, at the start, syempre, I also want to give back kasi during to tell the story of Dominguez Marketing and what we have done is to tell a little story about me and as a single mom who needed financial, kasi single mom ako noon and I was struggling. Serial, din ako entrepreneur, nagtinda ako ng Tupperware, ng duster, whatever. And then, of
Like
course,
everybody, no?
I found this career I love, which is in PR, and that's my short story and how it started. No, it started with the Sam Hakoba, who has been telling me, kaya mo magtayo ng PR. Ganyan lang yung how it started. And of course, a client like Georgie Azurin gave me laptop as a down payment kasi that was the start pa lang ng internet. And so, because of that, it is already in our psyche and our values to have a purpose and to help and give back. Kasi when that's how humbly I started without any capital, and now actually we took it one day at a time, and over the years, 25 years ng Dominguez Marketing, and so over the years, we have survived a lot of challenges. Mga baby pa kayo nun, di ba? So we have survived so much, but this pandemic is really the worst. And having met someone like, it was Sam who introduced me to Jason. And sobrang believe namin, actually, it was the team, no? Together with my senior team, sila team, the Tres, even at that time, si Sheila and Hill, they all said, we should participate and help out. And so, we started, the cause of Jason and the vision, that was so inspiring, and it is also giving us that sense of purpose. So kami naman sa walang pag-iimbot, Tagalog na Tagalog, we
Wow.
help out with the ang lalim, we help out with the mga, helping out initially with some of the back end support sa events, and of course doing free services, spreading the word, of course the word of mouth, and in fact even to some of our clients, we also explain the cause of bounce back PH, and it took its own life bigger than what we expected, and nagkakatotoo yung vision. So thank you guys for putting up this very good cause na yung bounce back PH together with that shared vision. Sabi nga ni Jason sa kanyang speech kanina, it's that shine a light upon upon each other, di ba? So yun, thank you. That's our in terms naman of how we recovered, of course, kami, buti na lang as an agency, we're already using technology, and so some of the things na we had to shift to a lot of virtual events. Buti na lang medyo andyan na kami sa forefront, and doing press cons virtually, and also telling client, huwag ka muna mag-launch ngayon. Don't be tone deaf because, times are hard. And even encouraging clients also to give back and help. And yun na nga. So that's how we help with this vision and share. Also as a customer, kasi kami rin mismo, we had this internal drive na buy Filipino tayo to help out the small and medium businesses. So yun, that's our bounce back story, and I'm so proud na now there's 1 million actually na members. So congratulations and congratulations on
Yes,
your
Mel.
first anniversary. That's truly
Yeah.
admirable.
Kanina
25
sabi ni
years.
Dean, yes. Kanina sabi ni Dean Pax Lapid, we have produced something like a billion in resources in terms of donations. Not to mention the value in terms of PR, in terms of a lot of other things. So ako naman, I think at the end of the day, volunteerism is something really personal. So my next question would be, what is your unforgettable moment with Bounce Back? Something that you will throughout your life remember that particular incident in Bounce Back na hindi mo makakalimutan na ikaw mismo, you were able to give back, you were able um, to change the world at that one specific point in time. So, RJ, sige, ikaw, what do you think? What's that one moment in Bounce Back that really changed the game for you? You're muted, RJ.
For
Okay.
me, that's the exterior moment, and then one is the interior moment. Kasi for the exterior, really, it was at the nascent stage ng bounce back when you're putting things together. Yung when we're putting groups together, when and we would do this big bounce. When you do this big bounce back talks ng restaurant and real estate, and we're getting thousands and thousands of people to listen to us talk at that time, and people to say yes to us at who they were. Parang wow, this was crazy for me. I mean, that time, pahirapan pa yan if it was pre-pandemic to get all these people together in one place just to listen
Yes,
to us
that's right.
talk. And just to see that all these communities are very vibrant, for me, those were big things because each of us nga had, like you said, we have our own strength. Mine is, diba, my strength is my network, and of course hosting and entrepreneurship, mentorship. So parang your network is your net worth, and we were able to use it for bounce back. For me, that was big. And I won't forget these times, because I still look back at those videos and see the number of people who were watching that when we were moderating and hosting it.
Yeah.
For me, interiorly, it was, I think, the first week of the lockdown. I was coughing, so my wife thought that I had just in case I might have COVID. So pina-quarantine ako sa isang hotel sa labas ng bahay namin, and I had just joined. And I remember I was alone in the room, and I was, it was practically my first time to be there, and I was, to hear mass online for me, di ba? And we weren't allowed to go out. Hindi pa clear that you could go out to hear mass, di ba? I mean, there was nothing clear from the church. So, but I was there, and I remember sharing on the page one of the very first posts that I was listening to, I think, Cardinal Tagle talk, at naiyak ako eh, and I was crying because I realized that I wasn't crying out of despair, but I was crying because I realized, God, there's something good that you've got planned that's better for all of us, and I trust in your plan for us and for our country, and I posted that online, and I realized that there were two people out there, the people who felt like me also, there's a bigger message in all this for all of us, and the other one is that there were people who were also in despair because they didn't know what was happening to everybody at the time, and so that sort of message gave comfort to some, and for some it was an inspiration for some. And I guess that was the important thing. Sam is saying here, he remembers that post that I put on the group chat almost a year ago. And for me, that was the most memorable thing. And I sort of kept that sort of attitude during the whole pandemic. So parang feeling ko, up to now, parang feeling ko is like, people kept on asking me, did you despair during the pandemic? I can say there were many times that I felt really bad. I mean, I'm sure Mel and the others who have a business felt the same way. Nag-drop yung passbook namin sa negosyo namin up to mga 100,000 pesos at that time. But then there was the feeling of despair did not sink in because parang go, God, you've got better plans. So that's the first part. And the second part for me was that parang entrepreneur ako. So and if you're listening to the talk of Dean Pax, what that just meant for me was that, okay, this is a time of furious iteration of your business model at this time. So parang that one plus a lot of prayer. I don't know who's Catholic out there, but sa akin natuto ako magdasal
Yes.
ng rosaryo araw-araw ako eh. So for me, the graces came to me there, and you know, wow, and you know, I can't believe that 1 year later, naka-adjust yung negosyo namin. In fact, if I was to give a talk here on Bounce Back on our pivot, is that we realized that the business model which we had prior to the pandemic was not as good as the business model which we developed during this pandemic, and came back, and now it's even better and stronger. Now, Mercato as a food market, we're actually growing more business, more Mercatos now than we did pre-pandemic, because we're solving a real problem, which is that people want to eat outdoors, diba? They don't want to eat indoors. And we're also helping a lot more of food MSMEs get back on their feet, both aspiring and current, and yung mga nadapa nung crisis, nakakatayo sila ulit. So those are the sort of, those are my big things. Parang, and Bounce Back was instrumental because it helped me recruit vendors, teach new vendors, and then bring a lot of them online.
True. Thank you, RJ. Great.
Hi, RJ. Hi, RJ. If I may just say lang, Sir Nando,
Sure.
Wowie is here just saying hello.
Hi. Hi, JV.
Okay.
Hi, Wowie. Animo.
Ano alam mo, partner nato, sabi kanina ni RJ, yung network niya, yung asset niya, yung blessing niya, no?
Yes.
Network mo ito na nagsimula sa Royal True Orange nung bata-bata ka pa?
Nako, ibig sabihin, JV, kung yung mga natatawa sa akin ngayon at yung sa joke mo ngayon, ibig sabihin, magkaedad tayo. Kasi sa mga iba,
Royal True Orange.
pag binigay mo yung linyang yan, pag millennial or zillennial, wala silang kamalay-malay ko na sinasabi mo. Pero alam nila na ako yung nagturo sa kanila ng math sa math clinic.
Yun. Good. Ako ang naalala ko yung men's show eh.
Yan. Ibinaon na ng asawa ko yung mga video na yan dito sa bahay namin nung nag-asawa na kami.
Anyway, RJ, thank you. Rich, ikaw, I know you
Yes.
have a lot of moments with the logistics of
Yeah.
getting all those. Hindi natin alam, no? Umabot pala ng almost ₱1 billion yung logistics in and out.
Grabe,
Rich,
diba? Yeah. Oo, yes. So first sa akin siguro ang yung hindi ko makakalimutan, one of the things that I would always remember participating in Bounce Back is yung talagang nag-stuck sa mind ko, and every now and then naalala ko siya. Nung nagkaroon kasi tayo ng drive, remember, sa mga hospitals. So,
Yes.
merong isang, I don't know where did they get my number, pero may kumontak sa akin who's from the Visayas region. Tinext talaga ako. And yung kanyang message and the email that I received, alam mo, talagang hindi ako pinatahimik because they were like pleading na wala talagang silang supply and everything. So,
This
sabi
was a
ko,
hospital,
"Jason,"
right?
Yes, hospital in the Visayas region. Sabi ko nga, saan niyo po nakuha yung number ko? Kasi meron daw na donatan, okay, dito sa Manila. Yun yata yung nag-forward. So I was like, hindi talaga ako natahimik. So I asked Jason, paano ba natin to matutulungan? And you know, we have a lot on our plate that time, di ba? Ang dami, kabi-kabila talaga yung mga naka-line up for us to help. So in short, I have to do my own research on how I could reach them and send help dito sa group na to. So talagang, alam mo yon, pinagana ko na kung ano yung dapat na mga reserve armor ko na hindi ko ginagamit to contact.
Okay.
Kasi for me siguro, it's one thing is I'm good at is connecting people. Pero nire-reserve ko yon for emergencies. So because of the email that I got from this hospital, from the doctor, talagang it moved me. So yung dapat na hindi ko kakalabitin, kasi medyo mataas, kinalabit ko na para lang ma-reach out sila. So I couldn't forget that kasi alam mo, ang sarap talaga ng feeling na yung you're able to do something na iisipin mo, hindi mo magagawa. Kaya it's really good. Sabi ko nga kay Jason nung una, salingkit lang ako dito because I know hindi naman ako like RJ Ledesma, like Sam, yung mga ganon, diba? Pero I'm gonna do in my own small way kung ano yung pwede kong gawin para sa ibang tao. So those are the moments na hindi ko makakalimutan. And there are a lot of people who, alam mo yun, nag-volunteer, like yung iba ayaw magpa-mention, they're giving cash donations, and then some of them, and I want to pay special mention, Joseph Talamayan of ISPS. He has done a lot of a lot of goodwill. Pinadadaan niya lang sa akin, and we've been helping a lot of communities. Ayaw niya lang magpa-front during that time. But thank you
Yeah.
so much for being part of
Maraming
Bounce Back.
maraming small groups,
Dagdag lang
churches
ako.
like
Not to reach, do you remember the time na nag-start tayo?
oh,
Lahat ng face mask, dumadaan sa atin. Lahat ng gusto magpa-face mask, dumadaan sa bounce back. Lahat, so,
oo nga,
may
grabe.
pagkain. Pero yung face mask at that time, nung hindi pa nare-regulate, diba? Siyempre, there was a time na
Yeah.
there was a supply chain issue.
Yep.
Ang daming dumadaan sa atin na nagbibid dyan. And I found out pala, some people there were some scrupulous and some unscrupulous people na.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's why
Marami.
we have to monitor, diba?
Diba?
Grabe talaga,
And-
sobrang
And
trabaho.
hindi lang yan. So there are two things, alala ni Jason nito. At the start, tinawagan siya kinontak siya ng Facebook regional.
Yes.
Diba? But first of all, to say, you're doing good job, how can we support you? Pero yung pangalawa, alala ni Sam yan ibaba na tayo sa Facebook because bawal yung pag-post ng mga
Essentials, yes. Yung mga essentials.
It was just, I remember that time, surreal di ba? I mean, it doesn't happen anymore.
True.
Yung binabala natin ngayon, yung mga sa reported ban sa Facebook, Bounce Back Official, sa mga comment, but nung time na yan, Facebook mismo, we're happy for us, but we're also monitoring us already for all the face masks. Kasi ang dami, di ba? Ang daming face mask,
Yeah,
di ba?
that's
Yun.
Alala ko yan.
Actually, ang daming nag-work at the backstage of all of these things. Alam mo, to mention especially again, babalikan ko si Jelix, no? Who's with us sa stream. Ang dami, I think ako naman siguro sandali sisingit ako ng konting moments namin. Siguro the moments I can't forget are those moments na siguro mga 12:00, 1:00 na. Tapos si Sam, si Jelix, si Jason, nag-PPM pa sa isa't isa, trying to encourage each other. So, ano yan, na-treasure ko talaga yun. So, before I get emotional, I'll go to Maggie. Maggie, ano yung unforgettable moment mo with Bounce Back?
Again, actually yung Blue Point's presence, we usually work back office. So,
Yes.
during that time, infra, web, and email. And then, yung sinabi nga kanina ni RJ na there are a lot of para special SIGs na fino-form within Bounce Back. So, merong restaurants, merong sa academy. So, parang, we have to set up this particular email only focused on academy. So, ayun, ang ngayon kasi you don't have to diba? You don't have to meet with the office, lang, may messenger na lang, itong trabaho mo ngayon for Bounce Back. Sabi ko, ay wow, ako, okay yung
voluntold daw.
Siguro alam ni Sam na sanay kami sa, kasi we're I'm working with Blue Point Foundation for, I think, 22 years na. Mas bata pa rin kami kasi Miss Mel Dominguez. So, for 22 years, and then, siguro, it is just parang natural for us and for everyone here. I believe na during this time, yung sinabi nga ni Sir JP, na you don't have to think of what's in it for me, 'di ba? Parang it's more on how can I help at this time. So kung tutuusin, during the pandemic, iisipin mo na, since we're on the IT industry, it's good kasi they will need this all the more, the online presence, the web, the connections, etc. Pero ang tanong mo, it is also the best opportunity for us to be of help dun sa mga hindi online. So I think yung sa Bounce Back, it's very convenient for everyone, kahit senior na, to just tell them na parang, you want to go online? Click this link. So, diretso Bounce Back yon. And then, you can see all the opportunities there. Kung ano man yung gusto mong negosyohin, kung gusto mo ng ideas. So, I think, Bounce Back really helped. And when we promoted it dito sa amin sa paligid, dito sa aming condo, actually, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towers here. We're housing 10,000 units. And then we have a group. So dito sa loob ng condo namin, sa 10,000 members, I mean 10,000 units, but in one unit they could be 2 or 3 'di ba? Members. So kami yung nagbibilihan ng mga products.
Magi mo
So
ka taga-SM ka, taga-SMDC ka.
na booking, okay. So
Yan yung may volume lang na condos na up to 10,000.
10,000 namin.
wala talagang ano dito. Yes, tama si RJ, nasabi niya na. And so actually I was once the president of the board here sa SMBC.
Ayan.
Homeowners.
Yes, and the thing is, what we're doing here sa online market namin and sa online community, Bounce Back is doing it on a nationwide level. So, kung nalilimitahan pa sila dun sa community namin dito sa Grass na limited na 10,000, and dito dun sa Bounce Back, they can go outside. Mas marami pang opportunities. So, ang nakikita ko nga is actually, since nabanggit niya na nga, actually I'm on the 30th floor pataas. Dito ako sa paligid. And then,
Geolocated ka na.
actually, and we know that especially last year during the pandemic, we have a lot of muntik-muntikana ng incidents here due to depression. So,
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Kasi talagang sinasabi nila, I mean, na I'm ganyan, I am depressed, what can I do? Parang ganon. So sabi ko, ano ba ako to? Parang hindi na ba niya kinompose yung sasabihin niya? Parang talagang, parang yun na lang eh. I mean, you cannot just sugarcoat or say something if you're really that depressed. So talaga yung community, and then I believe the bounce back, give hope to the people na kahit nasa loob tayo ng bahay, look, we can still sell. One of my friends na nasa Bounce Back, he's with Bike Plus. And the thing is, sabi niya, sa buong, I think more than a decade na ng working ko, last year lang ako nakabenta ng ganong karaming bike. so talagang nakakatuwa dahil, again, Bounce Back is the network of networks. And the need people to them, somehow we give hope, di ba? Na dito sa Philippines, pag dismaya ka sa kung ano mang maririnig mo sa TV, nakakatuwa na Bounce Back somehow is doing its role kahit online, and of course, syempre nagtatranslate na yun physically dun sa kumukonect na kila Rich, na doctors, or face shield. So, I'm really glad to be a part of it. Thank
Dato,
you.
pwede ko balikan lang yung sinasabi niya. Pasensya na lang po ha. Let me just wear a bit of my entrepreneur hat and speaker's hat lang sa sinabi ni Maggie, pati na to, at yung nangyari kay Dean Pax kanina nung pinag-usapan niya yung tungkol sa entrepreneurship, no? Yung ehemplo niya ng Bike Plus is exactly what we're sort of looking for during this crisis. Meaning, some people, they call it pivot. Inaayos nila yung kanilang negosyo. That's what pivot means.
So adapt.
Gasgas na salita, pero yan talagang ginagawa. Pinipivot yung negosyo nila. Alam ni JP yan. Pero mas importante yung malaman ng mga tao bilang isang entrepreneur, when you have that entrepreneurial mindset, ang ibig sabihin lang yan is that there is no bad or good time. There is just opportunity. Diba? Yeah. Because if you look at really good entrepreneurs, if it's a bad time, if it's a good time before this pandemic, may opportunity. If there's a bad time, there is still opportunity.
There's also an opportunity.
There's also opportunity. So never look at, in fact, for me, that's how I have to think of it. I redevelop opportunities during this time. So, sa lahat ng mga nakikinig sa bounce back, or sabi ni Noli Manalo kanina, bounce forward nga, di ba? We have to have that mentality that whatever is happening, there is an opportunity to be created for you. But the more important thing is that you have that entrep mindset to turn your irritation into that inspiration para makagawa ng negosyo.
Right.
Ang galing, ha? Irritation to inspiration. Galing.
Yes, that's right, JB. So,
Okay.
sige. All right, so thank you. No, we'll go now into JP and Mel. Ano yung unforgettable moment nyo with Bounce Back?
Unforgettable. Mel, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sige. Go ahead, JP.
Ladies first. Go.
Okay. Sige, well, first of all, alam mo, at the start of the pandemic, it was a very scary time. 'Di ba? Parang hindi natin alam what's going to happen. And so, I think what got us is that parang, oy, simula pa lang ng pandemic, and so we started practicing na sa office. How do we do this? How do we shift to virtual, and how do we equip our people, how do we keep the people safe, kasi yun yung una nating priority, is to keep everyone safe. And of course, when the challenges are coming in, sabi nga ni RJ, irritation. Parang natakot din kami kasi maybe about 80 or so percent of incoming business nag-freeze,
Freeze, yeah.
nag-postpone, o hindi natuloy kasi some are in travel, yung mga renewal of some of our kasi iba naman yung business namin. So it was a very scary time. And with that, kasi like I said, bata pa si RJ, nadedate ko yung sarili ko kasi si RJ bata nung naka-commercial ng Royal True Orange. So we took it also as an opportunity. So meron din kaming time at hand kasi some of our clients are still adjusting and they didn't know what to do and they're not equipped. Work from home din sila. So it was at the start of that moment na na-meet ko si Jason and si Sam, and together, like I said, very humble beginnings, nakita namin yung vision, and ako din as sabi ko nga, tindera ng Tupperware, and at Avon, whatever, name it, ang dami-dami kong pinasok. I wish there was something like Bounce Back during my time when I was doing that, no? And so that created an opportunity also to help us, like do volunteer work, and to do training internally, and then to escalate that same training to other people, even our clients, and luckily naman, I think the biggest biggest achievement is we survived the 2020, and I think that's the worst. The worst is over. Even this pandemic, we were able to survive. So, nakakatuwa rin to see that the cause is happening, that we created many entrepreneurs. I think mas marami tayo entrepreneurs now, and so seeing that vision come into reality is something na unforgettable for me. And naiiyak din ako, but I wish parang mas gusto ko mag-start ng business ngayon at makisali sa mga micro-entrepreneurs. But now, as a customer, we were also just being creative with the way we do things now. So yun, over to you, JP.
Yes,
Alam mo,
JP, go ahead.
maganda yung sinabi mo, gusto mo na rin mag-start ng business. Ako, nagkatrabaho sa bangko, pero quiet lang. Nag-start din ako ng business. Marami ako natutunan sa Bounce Back din, at saka mga kaibigan ko sa Bounce Back. But to share with everyone, ang unforgettable story ko is not something that's related to my bank. It's actually more personal. Eh, nakakatawa ko ako siya nagsimula. I think nakwento ko na ata to before, and RJ might have heard about this kwento. Pero may isang member ng Bounce Back na nag-message sa akin sa FB Messenger. At ang message niya sa akin, hindi ko makakalimutan kasi kung ikaw makareceive na ganito, hindi mo makakalimutan. Sir, hindi ko na kaya. Hindi ko na talaga kaya. Yun yung message niya sa akin. Siyempre nagulat ako, ano to? Love life ba to? Hindi mo na kaya. So nag-reach out ako. Sabi ko, sige, tingnan natin anong matutulong ko sa'yo. Ano yung hindi mo na kaya? So, sabi kasi niya, napansin ko niya na taga-bangko ako. Akala niya, doon ako sa bangko kung saan siya may utang. Only to find out, taga-probinsya siya eh. Somewhere Cebu, hindi ko na sabi ko sino. May utang siya doon sa bangkong yun. And nasa mga 150,000 lang naman. It might sound small for some, pero for a micro business person, malaki yun, 150,000. Tapos syempre nagpatong interest by everything. Sabi niya, sir, kukunin nyo kasi kukunin nyo na lahat ng gamit ko, mawawalan ako. Sabi ko, ako? Kaka, so inalam ko yung buong storya, only to find out na may utang siya sa iba. Akala niya, taga doon ako. But sabi ko, paano ko kaya siya tutulungan? Diba? paano ko tutulungan? Hindi ko naman siya pwede pautangin kasi definitely from the policy namin, medyo mahirap na. Alam mo ginawa ko, ni-research ko, and yung bangko kung saan siya may utang, may member na taga-bounce back din. So nag-message din ako. Ay, hindi ko muna share kasi
Connect the dots.
nag-message din ako sa the network effect. So, nag-usap kami. Sabi ko, paano natin siya tutulungan? I mean, nakakaawa din naman. Gusto niyang magbayad, pero hindi talaga niya kaya. Paano natin tutulungan? Huwag naman nating iharas. Huwag naman nating takutin sa panahon ngayon, di ba? Nakagawa kami ng plano. On my own personal capacity na lang. Hindi na because of I'm from a bank, but because I also have ideas coming from a bank kung paano mag-restructure. Tapos, biglang nangyari yung tawag dito, Bayanihan Act. Diba? So, naka-buy time. So, ngayon, syempre hindi naman ako nag-promise na magiging co-guarantor. Diba? Hindi rin pwede yun.
Yes.
Pero this time, nagawa namin maka-buy time ng 6 na buwan doon sa kanyang loan. At na-guide namin siya kung paano niya babaguhin yung structure ng kanyang business. Kasi they are in the baking. Home baker siya eh. Meron siyang maliit na bakery doon sa Cebu. Tapos nagpatulong ako dun sa bankero from Cebu. Sabi ko, may kilala ka ba sa mga mga kumpanya na bukas dyan? May idea kasi ako na baka pwede siya mag-supply ng mga midnight snack kung hina-house nila yung mga empleyado nila or dun sa cafeteria kung kasi 'di ba factories naman sa mga industrial park pinayagan magtuloy. Napakilala namin siya sa dalawa. At nakapag-supply siya ng cupcakes, cake slices, and so on doon sa dalawa. At yun ang naging source ng pambayad niya doon sa kanyang utang. Nagkaroon naman siya ng reprieve for 3 or 6 months, something like that. Unforgettable yun. Doon ako natuto na hindi mo kayang akuin lahat. Hindi mo kayang solusyonan lahat. Kailangan mo ibang tao para makasolusyon para sa iba. Diba? Unforgettable yon, honestly, kasi maski ako di nakakatulog, iniisip ko, kawawa naman siya, kukunin buong bahay niya, 150,000 lang yung loan niya, kukunin yung bahay niya, di ba? Matatakot ka rin eh. Unforgettable yon. Unforgettable yon.
I mean, hindi ko rin alam yan. Maraming hindi nakakaalam. So, before we finally go, gusto kong tanungin si partner JB, ano yung unforgettable experience mo with Bounce Back before we sum up everything?
Hi Nato, hindi man ako prepared sa tanong mo pero ang top of mind ko nung nag-moderate ako for home essentials. It's a new topic that I would moderate pero ang daming nanood, parang thousands. Like how to manage your home, how to juggle the roles, and then speaker sharing how to fix your aircon, how to sanitize your entire household. Sobrang memorable sa akin yan. That's my first stint and moderation work for Bounce Back. Yeah.
Yun. Oh, I remember, shout out din pala, of course, sila Jolina, Khan, sila Che, sila Chai, sila Rocky, si Belly, those people managing the back end, sila Jeff, of course, Tribu.
Yes.
Alam mo, there's so many
Tribu, our warehouse.
Yeah,
Diba?
Tribu was our warehouse, diba? So,
thank you.
Ang laking bagay, all of these things that you said, all of these things that it's really, babalikan ko yung kay JP na it's not about hindi tayo Superman and we really need the power of the network. So if we shine as one, if we unite as one, then everything can become a bit easier for everybody. Number two,
Nato, di ko pa nasabi kanina, I just realized one big thing that came out. Nung nagba-bounce back restaurants tayo sa atin, we kind of help crystallize the group of restaurants. Diyan nila nabuo yung Restaurant Owners of the Philippines, which is now sort of like a big advocacy and lobbying group for the restaurants. And
great job.
So it's talagang catalyst, di ba?
It really helped out. I mean, wow. I mean, when I think about it right now, hindi lang yan. Pati sa events group, pati sa mga events.
Yes.
Bigla na buhay.
As a result,
Yes.
So that's what I'm so happy about. That there's so many things we don't realize that come back from us, but in especially because of our founder Jason De La Rosa, very humble guy. None of us are out here to say, "Oy, akong gumawa nito, akong gumawa nito." Diba? I mean, wala kasi we just said, okay, we're all here just to stay humble, do good work, help other people. Ang dami parang nabuong grupo dahil sa atin, and we're just very happy for their success kasi nakatulong tayo in our own way.
It's only now that we're realizing it, actually. Tapos, alam mo, isa pang very distinct dito, yung mga journey of faith ng mga tao. Regardless of your religion or your faith,
Galing.
talaga people held on and then held on to each other, which I think is really at the end of the day, that's what's going to pull us through across all of this. And hindi lang yon, yung science of it. So in the first months, or sila Julina helped out with assembling a group, and then we did the surveys with the SMEs, and that particular, ito hindi nyo alam, yung survey na yon ginamit nila Kong BH at saka nung mga congressmen natin for the Bayanihan Act. They made use of the data to formulate the national legislation. So yeah,
Wow.
things like this, ano.
Saan si Julina? Wala siya ngayon. Funny thing is, when we put this together, I don't remember, di ba, Rach and Nato. When we put this together, not to say it's me, but I brought in Pierre Carlo Husay from Product Supply kasi nakontak ko dyan. Because of hosting also for Go Negosyo, I brought in Rocky Chan, I brought in Julina, I brought in Sam. So parang I realized that it's the network that we all put together that really helped out, because
Meron
God
kang left and right.
Yeah, di ba? It's funny how God works, di ba? We didn't know how He was putting us all together, di ba?
Yes, yes.
I mean, the orchestration was, of course, God used Jason, no? But all of us coming from different faiths, coming from different fields, eto na.
Yes.
So Bounce Back is here 1 year after, and lahat siguro nagsuffer din ng some sort of mental health issue. All of us, maybe. And then to think of, without that faith, without that hope, that Bounce Back gave, very specific kay Maggie, di ba, na, may mga gusto nang tumalon sa balkonahe, di ba? Parang, but there was hope that was given to people, and I think that has to be continued. That has to be, sabi nga Jason kanina, shine as one. We have to continue. And with that, guys, this time is too short. We have to do this again another time. Si Mel, kumusta?
Mel is in the backstage right now.
Yeah.
So we're trying to bring her back. But you know what? Listening to you guys, because I'm so feeling humbled right now. Nanlilit ako sa Herculean tasks na ginawa ninyo sa Bounce Back PH. Ako lang naman po ay naiimbitahan at navo-voluntold ni Sam Hacoba paminsan-minsan. But listening to you, I can only summarize it with one word: encouragement. Ang laki ng encouragement na nagagawa ninyo sa isa't isa. Even before coming to this event, Sam Hacoba led us into a prayer. And you know what he said? Dear God, this event is not for us. This event is not ours, but it is your event, and we are mere stewards of your purpose. So, my dear community of Bounce Back,
JB, one more thing pala.
Go.
The reason I was able to bring in Sam was because we belong to the same prayer community, which is Power Mornings of the Feast. So parang that's how. So God was really orchestrating all of this to happen. Diba? That's the great thing about it. That was the silver lining.
Truly.
Friendster.
Pero paalalahanan ninyo si Sam, matutulog siya, ha? Kasi hindi siya natutulog pag may mga events na ganito. Okay, my dear community of Bounce Back PH, allow me again to recognize our wonderful stories and of course our leaders, starting from Royal True Orange, kahenerasyon ko yan, RJ Ledesma, co-founder of Mercato Central and co-founder of Bounce Back PH. We also have Rach David, co-founder of Bounce Back PH, entrepreneur and part of Qubit Life, a Bitcoin platform. Of course, ang ate ng bayan. Pero hindi naman siya mukha talagang ate, di ba? She hasn't changed a bit. Mel Dominguez, founder and CEO of Dominguez Marketing Communications. Maggie Antonio, nakatira sa 30th
firm.
nakatira sa 30th floor or so, Executive Director of Blue Point Foundation. And JP Soliman, I'm really touched with your story right now on SME for Union Bank Global Linker. And with that, Nato, without any more delay, we have to conclude our panel sharing. And
thank
so,
you guys. Thank you
with
so
that,
much.
maraming
Thank you for
salamat
blessing us
po.
with your story.
Yes, shine as one.
Shine as one.
Shine as one.
Maraming salamat.
All right.
Hold on,
God bless you guys. God bless
Hold
you.
on, hold on. Is it
Happy
okay?
anniversary, Bounce Back.
Happy anniversary. Oo nga,
Guys, bounce back
magpo-pursue.
tayo 2021. Bounce back lahat ng mga negosyo natin. Ha? Bounce back. Bounce back tayo lahat.
Yes. Amen.
Hold on, hold
Yes.
on, hold on.
Who's
Can
taking
you take a
pictures?
picture? We'll take a
Ako po.
picture at 3, 2,
Okay.
1. We should be proud of our humble beginnings. The birth pains and stories. Our stories must be shared to communities. Our work in Bounce Back PH is beyond our corporate social
Congratulations.
responsibility. Bye, guys. And at
Bye,
this
guys.
point, I will
Thank
bring
you.
forward
Thank
Nato.
you.
Yeah.
I will bring forward my partner and co-host Nato to recognize our partners, volunteers, and our awardees before we head out for lunch. Go ahead, Nato.
All right. So at this point, we would like to recognize all the Bounce Back PH and individual contributors who have been doing volunteerism and partnership work since we launched a year ago. So let me open Bounce Back PH Marangal na Bayani Award. Can we have the do we have the awardees front? Okay. So um, we have to bring in Jason, right? Jason's coming in back in.
Yep.
All right. So Jason, is
Ang
he here
maganda dito,
already?
ang maganda dito Nato, we will be recognizing officially and we have awardees for
Yeah.
Bounce Back PH 2020.
So there's slides, right, for the Marangal na Bayani Award and for
Yes.
our awardees. Yes.
Habang iniintay natin yung production slides na yan, meron po tayong i-announce sa mga awardees. Ang tawag po dito ay Marangal na Bayani, Matapat na Bayani, at Magiting na Bayani. Di ba, partner nato? Ang ganda, di
Yes.
ba?
So it's called 2021 Bounce Back PH Bayani Award. So ika nga, you don't have to die to be a hero. You just need to be a volunteer. So, all right. So, we're looking at number 1, we will be awarding the Marangal na Bayani. Is that right? So, this distinguished recognition is given to individuals who have volunteered their time, talent, energy, network, and resources to help bounce back Philippines, its members, and the communities that it has assisted to overcome the challenges of the pandemic in 2020. Okay, so kanina you heard the stories about bounce back. So with that, we'd like to mention one by one the awardees. Of course, number 1, we have Dean Pax Lapid. We have, of course, kanina ang guest natin, si Rach David, Julina Khan, also RJ Ledesma, our guest earlier, si Lachay Saputil, Rocky Chan, George Winike, Emmanuel Kibilan, Daisy Go, Dan Maharokan, Rafi Galang Rafael, Lucky So Alabado, of course, our friend Belly Bartolome, Dindo Marzan, Melody Ocumen, of course, our operator, Sean Hakoba, JV Wong. Hi, JV. You're an awardee. Congratulations. Jefferson Katimbang, the owner of Tribu, of course, with the Congressman Manny Pacquiao, with Senator Manny Pacquiao. Hans Ali, Leo Castillo, Jordan Patente, Mel Dominguez, of course. Mel was our guest earlier. And then we have Tin Feliciano. We have JP Soliman earlier also. Engels and Maggie Antonio. Alam mo, first time ko sila na-meet virtually. Pero with that, of course, we have PJ Castro as well. And then our friend Mark Concho, Calvin Rosales, Judy Lorenzo. Of course, si Andrew John Smith, April Margaret Cuenca, Joji Azurin, Martin Gomez, Paolo Sitaka, Pierre Carlo Curay, Victor Bagilat Jr., Imat Marasigan, Jopi Sopido, Mon Dev, and more. All right. So, thank you for our marangal na mga Bayani awardees. Thank you sa inyong contributions to this country. And we know that in China Swan, you are indeed shining a light. No? So now we have the Matapat na Bayani Award. This distinguished recognition is given to institutions which have volunteered their time, talent, energy, network, and resources to help bounce back Philippines, its members and communities that it has assisted to overcome the challenges of the pandemic in 2020. All right, so among these people who are in the Matapat na Bayani Awards, these are institutions, right? So
Yep,
we have,
these
of
are
course,
institutions.
yeah, Go Negosyo, is, of which we are all part of, AFFI, IMAP, Lazada, Lalamove, UB Global Linker, of course, Tribu Babaylan, Dominguez MCI, Canva, D3 Digital, Can Do Solutions, Can Do Consulting, Management Strategies, NADPOP, Mercato Centrale, Enter PH, Clean Zone, Blue Point Foundation, Leadmore, ITSPAC, Sterling, of course, Rizeli, Truid Philippines, Coffee Crafters, Just Stay 2, Co-working Space, and Coffee. Oh, okay. Cushify Solutions, Inc., Family Business, and more. So there's so many people that we really need to acknowledge, so many institutions that we'd like to acknowledge. So with that, JB, yes, go ahead. Thank
Alam
you.
ko kailangan ko munang pagpahingahin ang aking partner, and so allow me to read the Magiting na Bayani Award. This most distinguished recognition is given to individuals who and or institutions which have gone above and beyond and have volunteered their time, talent, treasure, energy, network, and resources to help bounce back Philippines, its members, and the communities that it assisted to overcome the challenges and difficulties of the pandemic back in 2020.
Yes. Who is our Magiting na Bayani awardee?
And Nato and I will do our drum roll on the table. And our Magiting na Bayani awardee will be revealed. Excited na kasi ako, partner Nato.
Oo
Baka
nga, sino
kailangan
ba
na natin
yan?
i-reveal ito. May we reveal our awardee. Excited na kami, guys. Can we now reveal our awardees? And according to our core group,
Oo nga.
kailangan daw may cliffhanger statement muna.
Akala ko they will show a video.
Yes. Alam mo, Sir Nato, yung bang makita mo lang yung pangalan mo kung saan man, ano? Parang naantig
Yes.
yung puso ko, sabi nga ni Dean Pax, purpose, passion, persistence. Kaya maraming salamat Bounce Back PH. At ang paalala ni Kuya Sam, kung hindi man daw na-type
Kuya
yung pangalan mo, kung hindi man daw na-type yung pangalan mo, alam ng Diyos na nag-volunteer ka and you would be
Yes.
able to pay forward. All right,
Tapos,
so
are we ready with ganito, 'di ba? I was really blessed with the stories that you gave, JB, and the rest of our panelists. Para bang, oh my, it doesn't take a superman or a super leader to really make a change, no? So it takes, sabi nga nila, it takes a community to raise a child, di ba? This is like, Bounce Back is like our collective baby. Di ba? These people are professionals. Some of them are professionals. Some are students who volunteered. Some are church members. I remember one, a church, CCF, also helped with parang they asked Bounce Back na, oh, do you have people who are really going hungry or are really having trouble with sourcing food? And, sometimes when people donate, they donate yung mga soon to expire. But, for this particular group, they really donated. It's a D group. I think they call it a care group. It was a care group. Then they donated a food to a community here in Quezon City. And, it was bought, and I think it was newly bought. I think they did the grocery runs, and it helped a lot of people. And then there was one group I remember who did donations in Novaliches. Ganun din, they went through RAGE and our coordinating center. and they helped on their own. These are people working in a BPO, and they just decided. I think they were in the same team. They had a team leader, and then they were in a BPO in the same team, and they wanted to help, and they were able to help about 150 families here and there. Hindi pa natin na-account lahat yon. Pero Rach, JV, isang trivia. Itong awardee natin, they really mobilized for Bounce Back PH, and they gave to so many people across the country. So, suspense pa kasi ayokong i-reveal. Kasi sabi ng backstage, ng back end, wag daw natin i-reveal muna. Pero they really helped a lot. And in fact, I think half of the total donations we were able to produce came from this group. So, you know, half, imagine mo, we gave about almost $1 billion in collective sponsorships, in collective donations. Naalala ko nga, in the first part of it, puro mga essentials, no? Essential goods. And in fact, totoo yung sinasabi kanina ni RJ, JB, na parang, the essentials went through us and people were asking, saan ba makakabili nito? Saan So anyway, sige. So,
Hi, Nato.
JB, go ahead.
All right. Hi, Nato. Because
Yeah.
we are doing a cliffhanger effect at konting pasurpresa pa, what we will do is let us, warmly culminate our morning session. Shall we, partner? Okay,
Sure.
as we wrap it up and wrap up the morning segment today, I want to share with you the highlights that struck me as a person, as a woman, and as a
Sure.
leader as well. For every woman watching this live show and replay, happy International Women's Day and month.
Just makes no sense when you're just about to rise. It's when you start to fall. It doesn't seem right at all when you're just about to win. Your hope walks out the door. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be alright. You will see the children play under the big blue sky, 'cause we will always be here to wipe the tears away. Just look up to the sky and pray, 'cause every fear will turn to color. Every rainbow's gonna be shining on you. Every tear will turn to laughter. Every sunlight's gonna be shining on you.
Just when you thought of giving up, a stranger picks you up, takes you out the dark.
And when you look to find the stars, your love will lead the way. Just give it some time. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be alright. You'll enjoy the air you breathe under the big blue sky, 'cause we will always be here to wipe the tears away. Just look up to the sky and pray, 'cause every fear will turn to color. Every rainbow's gonna be shining on you. Every tear will turn to laughter. Every sunlight's gonna be shining on you. Well, we gotta help one another. That's the only way we can survive this. To shine a light, shine.
Shine, a song by Jason De La Rosa and performed by Emmanuel Feet, Janice Javier, and helped by so many volunteers. Sir Nato, let us announce our closing time and entry time. Tayo po ay magbabalik ng alauna ng hapon to
Yes,
continue our commemoration of our event today.
yes, but all right. But before we do that, I'd like to thank you, JB. Later this afternoon, I might not be able to join you, so we'd like to thank everybody who came in. And it's really a good day to start again, to shine as one. So yeah, we're
And
so
with that,
happy, we're so overwhelmed. Yeah.
maraming salamat, Sir Nato, for being my partner today. Much of the time in the afternoon, I will be with Mr. Samakoba. Tayo po ay
Yeah.
magkita-kita ng alauna ng hapon. Have a great lunch, everybody.
All right. God bless you all. Thank you.